NBC Sports presentation.
1 month ago, the Washington Capitals were on a crash dive course to the NHL depths, so the owner there made a coaching change.
My gut tells me that Brian Murray's the guy that's going to bring the Capitals out of their doldrums. Brian Murray's the guy that's going to turn this franchise around.
Brian Murray, a no-name coach with a no-frills approach. He's got the Caps in gear, and you really can't tell the Washington players, kids like Darren Beach, for example, without a program. And then there's Tim Tukey, a second-year man, no longer a rookie. Greg Thaberge. Greg who, you say? Well, stay tuned tonight. What's in a name? Try Gaetan Duchesne, an 8th-round draft choice from Quebec. There's Chris Valentine. Now there's a name synonymous with heart, and Chris has plenty of that. And of course, Bob Carpenter, the pride of Peabody, Mass., a high school star who could be the best of the young Caps, who meet the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight from Maple Leaf Gardens.
CBC Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Canadian Lager Beer. Canadian General Electric, 100 years of progress. Canadian Tire Dealers, with over 350 stores to serve you across Canada. And by Ford of Canada. At Ford, quality is job one, right down the line.
So the rookie-laden Washington Capitals invade Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, scene of some dismal performances by the home side of late. With us in the studio, Gary Green, the league's youngest coach a few months ago, and now the league's youngest coaching casualty. Gary, welcome to our telecast. You may become the youngest commentator.
Well, I guess all I can say to that, Brian, was that I set another record, I guess, as being the youngest casualty of the National Hockey League coaches.
Everybody wants to know what turned the Caps around. Is that an embarrassing question for you?
No, not at all, because first of all, I am a pretty good friend of Brian Murray's. He's an excellent hockey coach. When I left the Caps, I felt there should be some changes made. They felt that they had the talent. In the next 3 games, it proved that I guess they didn't have the talent. Since that time, they've used 14 different hockey players. Since I took over, they've used 39 hockey players in the last 25 games. So I think that Brian is on the right track without any question. He's strong, he's a disciplinarian, and he wants to see changes made. He wants to see some young blood in there, and they're doing a heck of a good job right now.
We'll hear then from Gary Green about the other changes on the Capitals team as this evening wears along. And speaking of the evening and in the gondola, we have Dave Hodge to call the play-by-play. Gary Dornhofer is our color commentator tonight. So it's Washington and Toronto from Maple Leaf Gardens. Hockey Night in Canada on CBC returns in just a moment.
When you buy a Luminar 20, you get color television with the Hitachi Touch. You get the Luminar definition processor that can define this picture, hair by hair. You get the Luminar Color Commander that commands perfect color without fail. You get the exclusive Luminar 20 warranty that guarantees all solid-state parts for 20 years. Would you want more in a color TV? The Hitachi Touch. Some people have it, some people don't.
It's a time for best friends and best wishes. A time for best thoughts and best feelings. Here's to the laughter and memories after. Here's to the best at Christmas.
This season, give your gang our best. Serve Canada Dry mixers, the important 4/5 of drinks for over 75 Christmases.
Here's to the best at Christmas.
With everything Canadian Tire sells, you might think our name should be Canadian Auto Parts and fishing. sporting goods, and camping, and plumbing, and houseware, and home improvement, and hardware. But you can call us Canadian Tire for short. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
The Cashews are hot, and so are the Capitals of Washington. 1 loss in their last 10 games. The Maple Leafs in their last 8, just 1 victory. Good evening, everyone, from inside Maple Leaf Gardens. This is Dave Hodge, and to avoid any confusion tonight, you'll also be hearing from Gary Green and Dorney Dornhofer. Only fair that the guest keeps his name, and we can call this fella Dennis Pee Wee Marouk. Okay, Dorney?
Well, Gary, you'd have to admit, 4 goals last night. He's on quite a tear, headed for possibly another 50-goal season.
Well, Dennis can certainly put the puck in the net very easily, Gary.
Bob Myers will referee tonight's game with the help of linesmen Gerard Gauthier and Ray Scapinello, and we have a meeting of rookie goaltenders tonight. For the Capitals, Al Jensen, just called up from Hershey of the American League, formerly in the Detroit system. He is a Hamilton native. And Vince Tremblay starts again for the Maple Leafs, who of course are without Borje Salming tonight, and that is a theme we may be referring to throughout the evening, Dorney.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, the defense revolves around Borje Salming, and tonight, well, some of the players had said maybe this will be a test of our character, but Mike Nikoluk had said it's about time we get a little backbone in our hockey club.
Bill Derlago won the faceoff cleanly, shot it into the Washington zone, and Greg Theberge, one of 8 rookies in the Capital lineup, brings it right back into the Toronto zone. Bengt Gustafsson tried to get it, now got it back, and a clear shot at Tremblay. The Leafs' Rick Vive ridden off the puck by Gustafsson, and the Capitals' Theberge watches it come out over the line, almost put it right onto Anderson's stick. Derlago missed that pass. It will not be icing as Jensen leaves it for Theberge. Darren Veach gives a pass to Gartner. There will be a Leaf penalty on the play as Mike Gartner was dumped. Anderson bumping into Carpenter, and the Leafs will play shorthanded from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Look out, world.
Here comes a brand new model of the world car. Ford Escort with front-wheel drive, 4-wheel independent suspension, and now...
You got more doors, something more than 4 doors. Another one behind, they call the hatchback.
New Ford Escort 4-door. Here comes a terrific high-mileage car with room for 4.
Look out, world.
Here comes Escort 4-door.
Here comes new, here comes now, here comes Ford.
Well, it didn't take very long for the Leafs to get the first penalty of the game. You saw Gartner falling to the ice as Derlago hooks him. So on the power play, the Washington Capitals. What about this power play, Gary?
Well, I think you're probably going to see Ryan Walter try and get in front of that net, and certainly Veach and Theberge both possess good shots. They'll be trying to shoot.
And let's watch Dennis Marouk, 10 of his 21 goals this season on the Washington power play. Don Luce killing the penalty for the Leafs, gets it down the ice. Darren Veach, who had a very successful junior career, especially his last season when he played under Coach Brian Murray. Giving it to Thaberge, the junior out of Peterborough. John Gibson at the Maple Leaf defense. Knocks the puck back into the Washington zone. There's pressure on Thaberge. Martin knocking him off the puck. Veach is watched by Luce. Capitals having a lot of trouble getting organized.
Well, good strong forechecking by the Leafs. You know, you just can't let a team get set up in their own zone and come out together. So it's one of the reasons that the Capitals are having a little bit of problem getting organized.
Leafs draw some applause from the fans for their penalty killing efforts in the first half of the minor to Derlego. Here is Maruk, always dangerous when he has the puck. To Veach at the point. We have a mix-up in front of the net that causes Bob Myers to blow his whistle, and Gibson steps in. Now he took a shove at the Washington player Valentine, and Ryan Walter came in after Gibson.
Well, again, this is Gary, normal for the Capitals. I guess they've been a little more spunky as of late.
Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
The whole world's turning turtle. Turtles just for fun. We turn in turtle all around, 'cause turtles are the best they found, with chocolate and caramel, crunch of pecan nuts as well. The reason isn't hard to guess why turtles taste the best. The whole world's turning turtle. 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 The whole world's turning turtle.
Well, the Capitals certainly had somebody in front of the net. Valentine was gaining that position. He and Melrose got into it. So they both will receive minor penalties.
Manpower remains as it was when Derlego got his penalty. Capitals with 5 skaters against 4 for the Leafs. And Washington has Tim Tukey out to take the face-off against that man, Darryl Sittler. Rookie Bobby Carpenter is out there in the Washington power play, which has been very ineffective so far. Veach offside, but delayed as the Leafs again shoot it down the ice. This time Veach steps over the line and it's offside again.
Now, we had conversation with Nicoluk this morning. He just felt that the Leafs have run out of excuses. They've used every possible excuse this year for the reason that they're playing well. Now it's time to, I guess, put up or shut up is the word you can use, and get things moving. But he said it's not the rookies that are hurting us, but the older players, the guys that we really depend upon for leadership. They're not giving it to us.
Darryl Sittler killing the penalty, the last 20 seconds of it, with Wolf Pema up front. Tukey for the Capitals turns away from Sittler. Veteran Terry Murray, the brother of the Washington coach, sends Carpenter in the right wing. Mano hauls down the rookie from Peabody, Massachusetts, and he will get a penalty with 1 second remaining in the Derlego sentence. So the Leafs are going to play another man short for 2 full minutes after Derlego steps out. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto.
Honey, wake up. We've got to get to work.
Shh. I'm making coffee.
Oh, you're not making coffee. You're sleeping.
I'm making coffee.
You're sleeping.
I'm making coffee.
What Fred doesn't know is that Janet bought the incredible Brew Starter by CGE. Brew Starter, the coffee maker that starts brewing a pot of wonderfully fresh coffee automatically before you get up. Also available with a digital clock.
We bring good things to life.
Carpenter along the boards, and what did Mano do to him?
Well, there's the holding on Mano against Carpenter. And Gary, how is Carpenter now used as a winger? Is this a better position for him?
Well, I think so, Dorney, because Bobby Carpenter coming in at just 18 years of age, playing center, that's a pretty key role. You've got to really be the control of that line.
Terlego is out, and he races after a loose puck. He is onside. Al Jensen sees that, comes out to play the puck. Marouk. Vive took the puck and scored. Short-handed goal.
Well, a tough play for the youngster Beach. 21-year-old first-round pick, but you see Vive just strip him from the puck. And actually, Marouk skates right away from Ricky Vive. And this allows Vive to pull a neat little shift and go in unmolested and score a short-handed goal.
12th goal of the season for Ricky Vive, his first of the short-handed variety. Capitals resume their power play, which has done nothing and has now resulted in a Leaf goal. Here's a Caps chance. Puck fired wide of Tremblay. Murray at the point, trying to get it to Walter. He is pressed to the boards by Gibson. Right in front, man open is Robertson. Walter with Murray, and Gibson stepped in front of that pass. The Capitals continue with it, however. Marouk and Gibson. Gibson up the boards. Murray keeps it in. And now the Leafs get it out as Marouk is flattened by John Gibson. And Gibson and Walter look at each other. Now Marouk takes a shot at Gibson, and here we go. Gibson and Walter. Marouk knocked down by Terry Martin. Marouk and Martin are going at it as Gibson lies on top of Walter. Rick Green is being restrained by Don Luce as he tries to help little Dennis Marouk. Bob McGill is on the ice, and he has a bear hug on Torrey Robertson. They now have Gibson apart from Walter.
Well, that's not always the dangerous part. There are 3 or 4 players sprawled off right at the blue line with the skates around the hand area. You know, one slice and you're finished for the year. That's what you really worry about. But
I'm interested to look at Bob McGill and Torrey Robertson. You see them there, junior teammates at Victoria last season.
Friendship ends in the National Hockey League as they're having a few words, plus doing a little pushing and shoving.
He doesn't know they were junior teammates.
Well, I'm sure when Mike Nicolak had said that we needed a big, little backbone, I don't think that he was referring to fisticuffs, but it seemed right from the start of the game that there was some good body checks being thrown in there, that both teams testing each other.
Well, Brian Murray looks on, wonders about the penalties, as we do, because there could be some interesting calls here. A third man in somewhere along the line. With a score, the Leafs 1 and Washington 0. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
When I get a headache pain, it's a beauty.
Then you should know about the medicine under one of these boxes.
Oh,
Think, Mrs. Ellis. Just 2 tablets have more than 900 milligrams of pain reliever.
900? That's a lot. Anacin. I never knew Anacin had so much.
Strength? Over 900 milligrams in only 2 tablets.
I'll try Anacin.
Anacin, adult strength. Also available in new Anacin capsules.
Well, the equipment is still being gathered. Rick Green has all of his, and he has gone to the Washington dressing room. Until we get the official announcement of the penalties, we won't presume to speculate on all of them, but perhaps Green has been tossed out of the game. And that represents a rather large loss for the Capitals, does it not, Gary?
Well, there's no question about that, Dave. He's their key man on the blue line. He's a good two-way defenseman, mostly a defensive defenseman, though, and they can't be without him for this hockey game.
Gary, while we have a moment here, you had mentioned before that when Brian Murray came in, he was able to get the players and make the changes when necessary. That didn't happen with you. You had to more or less play the players that were presented on the ice. I guess you were at a kind of a disadvantage in that case.
Well, I think that, Dorney, in any situation when you're coaching a hockey club, you're supposed to coach the players that are given to you. Brian's in an excellent situation right now, having come in. He can demand that the players, if they don't perform, that they're gone. And that's exactly what he's done. He's a strong disciplinarian that wants changes, and he's put a lot of new blood into certainly into the Capitals lineup right now.
We should add that Brian Murray is celebrating a birthday today. He turned 39, and I don't know how the rest of the day has gone for him, but he can't be very happy with what's happened in the first 3 minutes and 55 seconds of this game. The Caps have had a shorthanded goal scored against them, and it appears that they have lost their leader on the blue line, Rick Green, for the remaining 16 minutes and 5 seconds of this period and the full 20 minutes of the next two.
Is that a little smile on the face of Mike Nikoluk? I don't think he's seen that kind of enthusiasm for the Leafs. I mean, it looked eager when they came out here and started to throw their weight around a little bit. But, you know, again, getting back to the Capitals, I had an opportunity of talking to Terry Murray, his brother now the coach, and I said, I guess you get to play a regular strength, kill penalties, power plays, the whole work. So he smiled at that. He says, one thing, there are no favorites. He treats everybody the same, but he made the statement that I'll guarantee if you guys will not work in practice or a game, you will not be there. And a few players, my old buddy Bob Kelly has found that out. Unbelievable. Last year he had just a fantastic year, and now he may be looking for another job.
It's interesting how things go. Murray, of course, started this season at training camp with the Philadelphia Flyers, and Gary, while you were the Caps coach, you paid $2,500 to get Murray to Washington, and you, above all people, never would realize, nor did Terry, that he'd be coached by his brother later in the season.
Well, David, I don't know whether that's an easy situation for either Brian or Terry right now, but certainly with their success rate right now, nobody can certainly look at it and say it was a good move.
Well, there's still a discussion at the penalty box area. All the officials there, a few of the Leaf and Capital players.
Well, the Leafs have no room in their box. I suppose they're the only players who could sit down in gold seats. Harold would say they're yours free of charge, but I don't know what the Capitals do if they don't have any room on the bench. We have room for a message. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Gee, you must have hundreds of names here.
Well, actually, it's a cast of thousands.
Wow.
I hear you're quite a hot dogger.
Hot dogs, hamburgers, give me a golden and I'll jump at it.
Can you find it cold out there?
I don't find it cold anywhere.
Thermal pantyhose, right?
Good friends, healthy exercise. What more could a man ask for?
How about a golden?
Well, thank you.
When it's a good, smooth golden, go for it.
Good idea.
Number 25, Terry Murray, a 10-minute misconduct. For Toronto, number 23,
we're getting the
John
penalties
Gibson,
written down, and we will give them to you as soon as
2 minutes for slashing.
that is finished. Boreas Salming looking on. Laurie Boschman, Ron Zanussi.
Bob McGill, 5 minutes for fighting, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 20, Don Luce.
We'll let you listen in on the final.
Time,
oh, that's the end of it.
3:55.
Walter, 2 and 5. Marook, 2 and 5. Let's let Paul Morris do it.
2 minutes slashing, 5 minutes fighting. Rick Green, a game misconduct. Torrey Robertson, 5 minutes fighting, a 10-minute misconduct. Terry Murray, a 10-minute misconduct. For Toronto, John Gibson, 5 minutes fighting, 2 minutes slashing. Terry Martin, 5 minutes fighting. Bob McGill, 5 minutes fighting, a 10-minute misconduct. Don Luce, a 10-minute misconduct. Time, 3:55.
When all is said and done, as it now is, it appears the Capitals are going to play a man short after all of that. Two of their players had minor penalties in addition to majors, and the only Leaf minor that was announced was to John Gibson. Now, of course, the Leafs were already shorthanded with Mano in the penalty box. So they're going to play 4 skaters aside for the next minute, and then the Leafs are going to have a 1-minute power play.
Well, Dave, we're going to find out the players that are sitting on the players bench if they're in shape, because they're going to have to do some double duty for a while.
Vibe, who has the Maple Leaf goal, the only one of the game, shoots it into the Washington zone. Benning at the point. Off the skate of Bill Derlego. Tukey for Washington. Handed it right to Benning. In front of the net, Derlego scores!
Well, in order to be successful, you certainly can't cough that puck up in your own zone. The Leafs were able to intercept at their own blue line, a straight pass, and Derlego is jolly on the spot for that rebound, and Jensen, he was down, no chance in the play.
Well, the defense got out of position there somewhat too, Dorney. Two lead players right in front of the net. Caps defenseman still behind the play. As you say, can't give up the puck in your own end zone.
Well, they've done it twice, and they're down 2-0. Bad errors by the Capitals in their own zone have contributed to both Maple Leaf goals. So a faster than usual start for the Leafs, who normally see the opposition get a quick one. The Leafs have 2 of that variety. We haven't played 5 minutes of the opening period as yet. Gartner for Washington. And again, the Caps give it away to the Leafs. Derlego and Vive crisscrossing at the line, and they went offside, according to Ray Scapinello, not according to the Leafs faithful.
Well, let's have another look at that last goal. You notice both Leafs in front of the net, and once Jensen makes the save, he's out of position down, and Derlego has an easy time of it, putting it in that corner.
In 15 seconds, Mano will leave the penalty box, and the Leafs will have the man advantage. Benning has the puck for Toronto. He is with Derlego and Vive. Pass is behind Vive. Benning kind of got tangled up with Bill Derlego. The Capitals have had a stumbling start in this game. Get Gartner over the Leaf line. He's ridden away from the puck, and Benning leads the Maple Leafs into the Washington zone. Pema off the boards. Mano out of the penalty box. Bangs at it once and twice. Pema behind the net, looking in front for Mano, and Gartner knocked it to the line. Robert keeps it in with a shot. Jensen makes the stop. Randy Holt on the ice, shoving with Pema, who gets the loose puck. Benning. Jensen a good stop. Capitals killing off the remaining seconds of their minor penalty. Sittler tried to set up Pema, had him open, but the pass was deflected. And it comes out over the Leaf line. 5 seconds left now in the Washington minor penalty. And now the Capitals are back at full strength. Sittler's shot. Jensen juggled it, held it for the faceoff.
Well, I don't know, Dave, but so far this is the best that I've seen the Leafs skate and forecheck in that zone. They're doing it very aggressively, and I don't know if that has something to do with the Capitals arriving early this morning at 4 a.m. and then having a very spirited workout. I mean, Brian Murray really skated him for about a half an hour. Is that normal for the Capitals to skate that hard?
Well, I was totally the opposite, Dorney. I didn't really believe in morning practices the day of the game. I'd like to think the players are going into the game with a full tank of gas. Why use it up in the morning? You can't win 2 points in the morning.
Good point.
Gaetan Duchesne, quite a success story. The 152nd player taken in this year's draft, and he is in the NHL. Has been all season long. Tukey now for the Capitals, trying to get around Boimstruck, who played him perfectly. Puck rolled off Pema's stick. He got it up to Maloney for Sittler, who was bumped. A good check by Walker, but Pema carries on. Beach is knocked into the boards by Pema. The puck comes loose for Sittler. Pema at the side of the net. Jensen tried to hold it for the moment. It came loose. Maloney has possession. At the point, Boimstruck's shot, and Jensen narrowly prevented Boimstruck's first NHL goal. Mano did succeed in keeping it in. It's right back out. The Washington player turned around, and with Bobby Gould going to the ice, the Leafs will again be penalized. Live from Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Ludlow. Outstanding. Great, Chief. No, outstanding accounts. You hold the record for overdue accounts.
I can explain.
See this? Another piece of paper won't get customer attention, but phoning long distance will. It means paid bills, improved cash flow, and you can't lose your phone in the files. Where is your phone, Ludlow? It's in the files.
Business long distance. Today's way to operate.
We've now had 88 minutes in penalties in this first period.
Well, you see Bobby Gould, who had come over from the Calgary Flames. There's a little spin around there, and Sittler on the call. And right now, the only thing that could really hurt the Leafs is taking those bad penalties, especially between the two blue lines. But Washington again will be on that power play.
Leafs ahead 2-0. Gustafson for the Capitals. Valentine back to Gustafson, a weak shot, and Tremblay handles that with Bob Carpenter getting to his doorstep.
I noticed that when the Leafs stand up at that blue line, Gary, that it presents Capitals with a lot of problems. It seems like they like to carry that puck in rather than dump it in and going in after it.
Well, when you've got a couple of guys that are as good as Ben Gustafson and Bobby Carpenter at carrying the puck, they like to carry it in and gain possession at blue line. They're really trying to set up. But the Leafs are doing the right thing right now, standing up, holding them at that blue line, forcing them to dump it in. Right now, the Caps aren't dumping it in, though.
Derlego checking with Rick Vibe before he steps into the face-off circle. Carpenter left it for Thaberge, who gives it back to the American-born rookie. Here's Gustafson in the slot, winds up, deflection, and Tremblay made the stop. Valentine was looking for the rebound. The Leafs send it into the Washington zone for Thaberge. And away from Derlego and from Vive. Gustafson brings it over the Leaf line for Valentine. He whips a shot. Tremblay got enough of it with his glove to stop the Washington scoring chance. Sittler has served almost 1 minute of his penalty as Gartner is on the ice for the Capitals, now one of the very best skaters in the NHL. Mike Gartner off the boards. Carpenter will get to it. He has it taken from him by Mano, and Robert got it not over the line. Thaberge for Carpenter, kicks a quick shot, and Tremblay is there. Rebound came in front, was swept away by Pema, but not out. Another shot is wide. At the point, Gartner knocks it off the boards. Carpenter turns around to see the puck. In behind the net. Gustafson in front, another chance from there. Rebound opportunity, another one by Gustafson, and he can't get it in. Carpenter. At the point, Thaberge misfired. Carpenter is there to pick it up. Gartner at the other side. And Tremblay will hold on for a faceoff.
A good-looking power play. It took the work of Vincent Tremblay to prevent any scoring.
Well, certainly Tremblay made some key saves there, Dorney. Greg Thaberge there got an excellent shot, playing on his sometimes on his wrong side during the course of power plays, but he does possess an excellent shot. Grandfather there, Dit Clapper, he's very similar to Dit, I guess, in a lot of ways.
Well, you watched, I noticed how the Capitals like to get that man in the deep slot area and set that man up. But again, you see the shot coming, and Tremblay, jolly on the spot, comes up with a couple of excellent saves. And then one went wide, but good puck control by the Capitals looking for that open man.
Vince Tremblay holding up the game for the moment as he has a little equipment repair to do in his goal crease. 9 seconds left in the Sittler penalty. Capitals have had their big gunners out there and are now with Tukey and Jarvis up front along with Duchesne. Derlego took the puck from Gaetan Duchesne back to Benning, and that does it for the Sittler penalty as he has the puck now. Godden had an opportunity, and now Wes Jarvis hit by Melrose. The Leafs are hitting at every opportunity. Duchesne came over the Leaf line, and it was knocked out to center.
Well, Dave, we haven't seen the Leafs do that much this year, but so far it's been very effective weapon to use. They're breaking up a lot of plays because of their hits.
Melrose into the lineup because of the Salming injury. Godden tried to get it for John Anderson. Duchesne has the puck. Anderson took it away. The Leafs leading scorer Got the good shot away. Now Veach for Jarvis. Melrose got a piece of that and goes to the corner to pick up the puck. Saginaw wasn't ready for the pass. Now Anderson takes a pass from the Capitals. Washington giving the puck away far too often. It's really cost him in this period. Carpenter with a big shot that Tremblay stops, and Anderson sends Saginaw to the Washington line. His hard shot goes over top of Jensen in the Washington net. Anderson comes off the boards with it. He was held up for the moment, and now Boimstruck gives it to Godden. Saginaw tried to get it back to Ernie Godden. Boimstruck at the Leaf line with Mano. They neatly avoided the forechecking of Bobby Gould. Robert with it for the Leafs. Godden to get a line change, sweeps it into the Washington zone. This is Bobby Gould. Had a hat trick earlier this season with Calgary before he was traded. Sittler races to the puck for Robert. Sittler again. Good move, and he lost his balance after making that fancy play. Maloney for Sittler, rebound. Oh, and Al Jensen came up with a big stop. Sittler had 2 tries to make it 3-0.
Again, the Leafs are really controlling the play in the Washington zone.
On This Week in the NHL, coming up in our first intermission, we're going to devote a good deal of time to the big trade this week between Buffalo and Detroit. We'll also have highlights of games played earlier this week, so stay tuned. This Week in the NHL, first intermission.
Well, the league is still buzzing about that Buffalo-Detroit trade. Hear more of the follow-up conversation in the first intermission. Gartner for Duchesne, and the rookie gets a shot that Tremblay had to stop with his stick. Melrose up for Robert. Again, the Capitals give it away. Maloney was turned around, and there'll be a hooking call against Washington. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto.
I've lost my crown, my people, my fortune, but I can still look smart. And I do. In my smooth shirt from Aero. Look at this collar, perfection, and it's specially designed to stay perfect. I even get my exact sleeve length. What quality? Aero smooth, fit for a king at a price any ex-king can afford.
Aero Smooth, white and plain colors, just under $20.
You don't have to give up a fortune to look smart.
Now Dan Maloney, good possession again inside the Washington blue line to see Walker coming up on the hook, who was signed as a free agent in 1980. And how about the Capitals killing off the penalty? Do they do a lot of forcing?
Well, Darnie, what they're doing now, what I did is totally different, and we didn't have very good penalty killers, so Brian has been able to effectively get a better penalty killing unit together. I think they're playing more of a forceful type of killing system.
Well, they're liable to do that with Maruk on the ice. 21 goals this season. Benning at the point is going to take it deep for the Leafs and put it right in front of the net. A perfect play. Benning shutting up Derlego.
Well, it's not often that you can thread the needle the way Benning did on that play. You know, it's hard enough gaining control when you have a man harassing you, but watch that one go right over to Derlego. There was a scramble in front. Jensen seemed to be tied up by the right-hand goal post, and Derlego didn't waste any time. Pumped it home.
14, Rennie Robert. Time 11:49. Bill Derlego.
So the Leafs have had 3 goals, 1 of each kind. Short-handed, regular strength, and now on the power play. Valentine had it handed to him and tried to center it for Walder. No damage done to the Leafs as Anderson comes to center. The goal by Bill Derlego just 9 seconds into that Maple Leaf power play. Walker, who was penalized for Washington, runs into John Gibson. Now 5 bumps with Walder. Sittler got it out to Anderson. Anderson trying to return the pass to Sittler was broken up by Chris Valentine. He was checked by Robert. Sittler just couldn't get it as he dragged the stick behind him. Valentine just got rid of it into the stands, and the Leaf fans rather happy with what they're seeing so far. Darren Veach on the Washington defense. He's had his problems like everybody back there tonight.
Well, good forcing by the Leafs. All takes place on the face-off, Gary.
Well, that's certainly an interesting situation here, because Derlego, as soon as he got that puck, he released it right away, and that's a very difficult thing to do and still maintain excellent shot that he got away.
Well, there's a good example that had Derlego hesitated and got himself ready, by that time Jensen would have been able to cover up that side of the net and possibly made the save. So again, that's the reason that as soon as you get it on the net. Don't give that goaltender a chance to take one away from you.
Jim Benning, who has assisted on 2 of the Leaf goals, gets it to Maloney at the goal post. Almost a 3rd assist for Jim Benning.
Hey, this doesn't look like the same Leaf team that we've been watching for the last couple of weeks.
Wait a minute. Yes. Gustafson had a chance. Tremblay poked the puck away. Carpenter turns around at the point. The Berge's shot. That was stopped by Melrose, who got it out to Robert. Maloney will take another shot. Stuck behind Jensen, but wide of the net. The Berge, the highest scoring Washington defenseman. Neither Capital player looking for that pass, and went right to Benning. He's working on the defense with Barry Melrose. And Benning shot it in. I'm sure this isn't the way Washington has played either in the last 10 games, losing just once. Veach got it up to Gartner. Gustafson, who's had the majority of scoring chances for the Caps. Back to Gartner. His shot not difficult for Tremblay. And Mano brings it back for the Leafs. Gets it back from Boymstruck and shoots it in. Payma racing with Walker for the puck. Leafs come up with it. Ernie Godden out there with Payma and Martin. Payma takes down his foe, and they get a whistle.
Well, again, you know, unless the Capitals start squeezing off some of the Leafs wingers and just interfering with them, it's going to be a tough job for the Capital defensemen, because the Leafs are really going in there strong forechecking.
Well, Dorney, they're really missing Rick Green out there right now. Just as the Leafs were expected to miss Salming out there, Rick Green is a guy that doesn't get beat on one-on-ones too often.
Some action in Montreal, Gary.
Well, the Canadians had jumped off to a 1-0 lead, and Calgary, who's been having all kinds of problems defensively, reply with Kevin Lavallee on a good slap shot from that slot area against Sevigny. So that game is tied 1-1 at the Forum.
3-0 here at the Gardens for the Leafs. Washington player falling from the faceoff was Tukey. Godden got it back to Boymstruck. And Walker for Washington shoots it, and it does get out, but Payma keeps possession for the Leafs. Terry Murray wraps it off the boards. Again, the Leafs keep it in. Godden is taken down, and the Capitals come out with Duchesne. His pass intercepted by Boymstruck. Payma again adding to the list of Leaf hits in this period, and the total mounts is Godden. Again, knocks down a Washington player, this time with a cross check, however.
Well, he's not a big guy, but a lot of heart, Ernie Godden. 87 goals last year for Windsor in the OHA Junior A. And he's had a couple of good hits. This time he brings the stick up against Tukey, so that's the cross-checking call.
We have now had an even 100 penalty minutes called in this first period.
Ernie Godden, 2 minutes for cross-checking 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Whoops.
Time 15:14.
Now it's 102, and the Leafs are going to be shorthanded for 4 minutes.
Well, if you're looking for a time for the Capitals to get back in this hockey game, it would have to be right now.
Dorney, this is going to be an excellent opportunity. They've got Ben Gustafsson back in the point now. They've used Mike Gartner as well as LeBurge and Beach. Gustafsson can really control the puck. He doesn't possess an excellent shot, but he certainly can control.
Sets up the place.
Dennis Maruk out there. He was knocked off the puck, and Vive shot it just over the line. Veach hit Maruk, who's in almost alone. A sliding play by Melrose. He's not only playing for Salming, on that occasion he played like Salming. Maruk's shot is just wide on the short side. Gustafsson, bothered by Vive, and Derlego came up with the loose puck and knocked it down the ice.
Well, something that the Leafs could look for here when they break out is work a 2-on-1 against Gustafsson when he's back on the point.
Loose puck in the Leaf zone. Gibson gets it out. The Capitals really trying to get something going. Veach has been on for all 3 goals by the Leafs. Got the puck behind Valentine. Martin shot it away. Gary, would it be fair to say that in the transition going from older to younger players, the Capitals might have lost some of their aggressiveness?
Well, not really, Dave. They've actually been an aggressive team in their last 10 games. Tonight, though, back-to-back games seems to always hurt the Capitals, Dave.
Veach at the point. Shot is deflected by Walter just wide. Valentine for Walter in the slot. He scores. And the Capitals get one back with 2:39 on the penalty clock to Godden. So this very definitely is a chance for Washington to get right back in the game.
Well, on the power play, the Capitals have been looking for that slot man, and Walter actually made a pretty good play to pick up that pass. He was in traffic, and all in one motion, he was able to snap it in the far corner. But he's one heck of a hockey player. I like the way he plays.
Darney, they gave it to the right guy. Ryan Walter's got an excellent wrist shot. He works on that after practices time and time again. He'll line hundreds of pucks up and constantly the wrist shot. He never misses that net. If he does, he makes himself do 10 push-ups. That's discipline.
The Washington captain, Ryan Walter, makes it 3-1, and the power play continues. Minute 40 left in the penalty to Ernie Godden. LeBurge comes out for the Capitals. Carpenter knocked it down with his glove. Gibson shot it away from the Leaf net. Still in there. Gartner was held up by Payma. Bob Myers didn't appear to see it until it was over. But Payma very definitely hooked Gartner away from that loose puck. Murray for Wes Jarvis. Former Windsor junior shot it in, and that is offside. Well, with the Leaf symbol on the puck, that young man might be a little too young to remember the great days of the Montreal-Toronto rivalry, or maybe he isn't, because every time they meet, it's a game that is worth remembering. And next week, we'll have the Canadians here at Maple Leaf Gardens on Hockey Night in Canada. And for viewers in those 4 western provinces, the Calgary Flames will be at home against the New York Islanders. One minute left in the second minor penalty to Ernie Godden. Dennis Maruk for Washington. Walter on the right side. Centering. Valentine scores, and it's 3-2.
Well, there's the second power play goal that the Capitals had, and again, it was in the slot area with Valentine this time doing the scoring, but there's a good example of what that speed will do for you, and a guy that can pass the puck so well as Maruk. But a good heads-up play by Ryan Walter, and he used the backhand on that pass. He was able to slide it right over to Valentine, who was just cruising into that slot area. And again, he releases it right away. You notice how he picked that up from a skate onto his stick.
Chris Valentine has a knack of being able to pick up the puck and certainly knowing what to do with it. He had over 50 goals last year in Quebec, certainly showing he can put the puck in the net.
Gary, you had mentioned before that Valentine isn't one of your faster players. Probably that time it paid off because he was a trailer on the play, coming late, and just got himself in a position to be able to get a good shot away.
When you're playing with a guy like Dennis Maruk, Dorney, that's really important because Pee-wee's in there so fast.
Pee-wee?
That's his nickname.
Talk about Gaetan Duchesne being a Cinderella story. 150 seconds. Here's Derlego with a shot. We'll pick up on the Valentine story in a moment. Boyne struck at the point, and that goes into the crowd. Chris Valentine was the 194th player taken in the draft. There's roughly only about a dozen players from the most recent draft in the NHL, and two of them are Gaetan Duchesne, 152nd pick, and Chris Valentine, 194th.
Well, Dave, we were talking about the number of teenagers that are playing in the National Hockey League, and what total did we arrive at? About 30 or 31?
There are 30 who have played in the league or are playing in it right now. Duchesne is one of them. Well, the Leaf lead that was 3-0 is now 3-2 as we have less than 2 minutes to go in the opening period. Both Washington goals in the power play, 70 seconds apart, while Ernie Godden served a double minor. Anderson stepping over the line, trying to get it to Vibe. He did. Vibe right in. Oh, what a play, but he just couldn't finish it off. Veach took him to the boards. Anderson tries to come up with it. He's tied up by Gustafsson. Anderson just stripped it from him. Derlego, open net. Shot it wide. Jensen managed to get his stick on it anyway. Before this period ends, with every mention of Al Jensen, I'm sure we have Leaf fans wondering, where is Mike Palmateer? Gary, you're...
Well, Mike Palmateer has again got an injury. David, nothing uncommon with Mike, unfortunately.
He did not make the trip to his hometown. He's back in Washington as Al Jensen is doing the net minding for the Capitals, and a rookie up from the Oshawa Juniors, Peter Sidorkowicz, is the Washington backup goaltender tonight. 42 seconds left in a stormy first period from a penalty sense, and as well as the goals that have resulted from those penalties.
Well, we are getting a real entertaining hockey game. We look at Jensen. He's been under pressure most of the period, but we've seen some great individual efforts here by Vibe, and this time Derlego, you know, he again had the open net, just couldn't get it by Jensen as he put that stick down to block the shot. That's why, you know, you don't stop anybody by stick checking. You better get in front of them and take them out.
The whole body.
The whole body, that's right.
Face-off between Marouk and Sittler, a couple of former London Knights who usually do battle with each other when they play against each other in one sense or another. He's trying to get it out. Robert knocked it just over the line. Marouk back in offside. Well, Nick is in the market for a new car tomorrow night. He buys himself a sports car and a whole lot of trouble on the Beachcombers at 7:30 in Newfoundland on CBC. Mano behind the Maple Leaf goal, watched by Walter, falls, and Mano comes out unimpeded to Maloney at center. Off the skate of Randy Holt. Mano kicked it back. Marouk got it up. Here's Valentine, and what happened here? Offside pass is ruled against Washington with 11 seconds to play.
Well, there we look at 22-year-old DeBurge. Second round pick in '79, and I guess he started with Hershey, was elevated to the big club, and you mentioned he had a very excellent shot from the point.
Yes, he does. I happen to know Greg DeBurge fairly well. He played for me for 3 years in Peterborough, won a Memorial Cup with him, so I certainly think a great deal of the young hockey player.
Sittler won the draw. Mano shooting it into the Washington zone. Just 7 seconds left. Maloney bumps into Walker. And the period will come to an end. Good hitting by the Leafs. Take them to a 3-0 lead, and then 4 penalty minutes to Ernie Godden let the Capitals get back into it. The score at the end of the first period, Toronto 3 and Washington 2.
4, 5, 106, 107, 108, 109.
It's about time to go for golden. Depends. What time is it? I don't know. It's time.
I came here to develop my solar plexus.
Oh, don't they use those to heat the pool?
Is he meditating? No, I was just thinking about it.
They say too much exercise isn't good for you.
Yeah, you really should watch it.
You
know, I spend $3,000 for this body.
It's tough to get your money's worth these days, isn't it?
Yeah. 5 days a week I work out.
Out where?
Out there. I'm the gardener.
How long have you been playing?
Oh, about 4 years.
Gee, you must be tired.
Smooth. The point of this exercise? When it's a good, smooth golden, go for it.
Hello. I was a dedicated blade shaver till my wife bought me this Remington microscreen shaver because it would shave as close as a blade or your money back.
Remington has 2 microscreens. That's why it can shave as close as a blade. The first microscreen is so thin it shaves incredibly close. The second microscreen shaves even closer.
I was so impressed, I bought the company. The Remington microscreen shaves as close as a blade or I'll give you your money back.
And the Lady Remington, the perfect gift, also with a money-back guarantee.
Look out, world.
Here comes the first Granada wagon.
Here comes Ford.
Here comes all the comfort of a contemporary sedan and more cargo space than any North American-built wagon in its class. New Granada wagon.
Here's something more than ordinary driving, something to arrive in.
Here comes all the guts of a wagon and all the glory of a Granada.
Here comes new, here comes now, here comes Ford.
And now, from the Hockey Night in Canada Control Center, this week in the NHL, an inside look at the past week's activity throughout the league. Here is Brian McFarland.
Thank you, Dick. There was a major trade and a minor trade in the NHL this week. The minor deal saw the Blues give up Dick Lambie and Joe Micheletti. They went to Colorado in return for former U.S. Olympic hero Bill Baker. But the major deal, that's the one everybody's talking about. Some famous names involved in this one. The Buffalo Sabres giving up Sauve, Gare, Schoenfeld, and Derek Smith in return for McCourt, Foligno, Peterson, and future considerations from the Red Wings. Now, there's been some concern that Detroit bought a bad back and some bruised bodies in the deal, but Red Wing coach Wayne Maxter says he's not worried at all about the injury factor in this one.
That just tells you one thing: they come to play, and that's what we want here. If they come to play and get injured, that's part of the game. And maybe a guy can go through his whole career and never get injured because maybe he doesn't get involved.
It's tough. I mean, I'm a Buffalo Sabre. You know, I've been a Buffalo Sabre for 10 years. That's all I've been as a National League player. And you don't just, you're traded, by the way, you're Detroit Red Wing. I mean, I'm going to have to make that adjustment, as are the other guys. Detroit is our team. That's where our loyalty must lie now. But in your heart, I mean, it's difficult, to leave. And, I saw good things happening this year, right now, I still think of myself as a Sabre.
Scotty Bowman seems to be doing the job that he feels is I don't agree with it, but and I didn't agree with some of the things he did in the past. And people that have given a lot to an organization, I was surprised in Mr. Knox, as an owner, I was surprised in the way he handled some people. I just thought it was some of the things were pretty, not ruthless, but people that have given a lot of things to his organization, his cause. It's hard to see how players can go along and want to play for somebody. I just thought it would be I guess that loyalty doesn't mean much.
I didn't think our team actually was good enough to win it all. Last year we didn't do it, and we've come back this year with a few additions, and naturally, if you don't do anything, of course, you can always be 50% right. And, this is a trade that's going to have to be judged over a period of time. And naturally, patience is always a good virtue. But in this case, we're losing some good players. We know that, and some crowd favorites. But I feel there's a time needed for a change. And Mike Foligno's a blue-chip hockey player. He's 22 years of age, and he's a commodity that very few people in the league can ever hope to obtain.
It was a surprise to me. It was a little shock to me. It was a surprise to me. It was a little shock to me, too. I knew they were going to make a trade, to tell you the truth. I didn't think I was going to get traded, and I guess when you start thinking that way, that's when things, come down on you, and it did. And I'm going to Buffalo now. I'm going to be a Buffalo Sabre instead of a Detroit Red Wing, and I'm just going to have to be, going into Buffalo with a positive attitude.
I'm happy to go, and I think the word untouchable is ridiculous to the point players, if they feel they're going to get a better deal, then they're going to move you. I hope that you know, the deal will work out good for both clubs. I'd like to see Detroit turn it around and get this franchise going. You know, I have a lot of friends here and a lot of respect for the players in the club.
Two new Sabres, McCourt and Foligno. Bowman calls them blue chippers, and he may be right, especially in Foligno's case. But Sauvé could be the best of the bunch going the other way. He won his first game as a Red Wing against Montreal on Thursday night. This was a deal that Detroit couldn't turn down. They must be chuckling in Motor City. It brings new life and a whole lot of new talent to the Red Wing organization. I give Detroit the edge. We'll return with more on This Week in the NHL in just a moment.
If you're looking for action and adventure, we've got jobs that'll bring out the best in you, physically and mentally. In the regular forces or the reserves, you will meet new challenges and new friends and be doing something worthwhile for Canada and yourself.
There's no life like it. There's no life like it. No,
We're the Canadian Armed Forces. Look for us in the yellow pages under Recruiting.
Now, hear the latest from Techniques. Tuners that combine out-of-this-world performance with push-button ease. Integrated amplifiers that make distortion and noise of the past. Techniques cassette decks, studio-quality sound from all types of hi-fi tape. Linear tracking turntables with distortion even lower than their profile. And revolutionary honeycomb speakers. Sonic purity you have to hear to believe. Hear all that's new from Techniques, the science of sound.
NHL highlights featuring the play of the week, brought to you by Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
Tuesday night action, Edmonton at Montreal, and a full house at the Forum to see Gretzky and his gang, a rematch of last year's playoffs. Here's a goal by Anderson, his 14th of the year, and that put the Oilers in front 2-1. Now a rush by the great Gretzky, and it pays off in a goal by Lumley, his 8th of the year. He's been on a streak. 3-2 Edmonton in front of the Canadians, but Napier comes back and scores his 11th, making a good play to come out in front and slip it through the legs of Fuhr. And the game winds up in a 3-3 tie, and Fuhr was a star in this hockey game. Watch this save. He faced 38 shots. The game ended 3-all. Thursday in Philadelphia, Reg Leach scored 2 goals, and rookie Bob Hoffmeyer added the first goal of his NHL career as Philadelphia trounced Calgary 6-1. Here's Hoffmeyer's shot on the power play. Paul Holmgren came through with a power play goal to put Philadelphia in front 2-0, beating Reagan with that shot. Leach makes a steal here off Radicalio and gets his first of 2 goals in the hockey game. And Brian Propp scores here, number 18 of the season. With just 27 seconds left to play in the second period, the Flames are now winless in their last 10 road games. And last night in Edmonton, Lumley scored his 10th of the season to tie the hockey game as the Oilers faced the Vancouver Canucks. A goal by Lumley, left unguarded in front, that tied it at 1. The Oilers in fine form again last night. Hagman scores his 10th in the second period, and that put Edmonton in front 3-2. Then Semenko. It's 4-2 Oilers. Gretzky had 3 assists in the hockey game, now has 72 points. Coffey scores a goal for Oilers, and it wound up 7-3. We have our Panasonic Play of the Week, and it's a good one this week. You're going to really enjoy this unless your name is Kurt Giles or Gilles Meloche. And we'll look at Thomas Gradin of the Vancouver Canucks in a game the other night. The Canucks won it 5-0. Here he comes, up the center. Look at Giles. He says, "I've got you, Thomas." Now, where'd you go? Gradin goes all the way in and beats Meloche. It would have been a shame if he hadn't finished this one off. Don't go back to Sweden next year, Thomas. We like watching you. Forget the budget. That's our Play of the Week.
The Play of the Week has been brought to you by Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
As the world's need for Canadian raw materials grows,
Canada's need for freight handling capability in Western Canada will increase dramatically. To recognize that need is CN's responsibility. To deal with it efficiently is CN's business. CN, in business for Canada.
People trust Seiko technology for bold sports watches that perform brilliantly, even 100 meters beneath the sea. People trust Seiko for slim dress watches with every timekeeping function you'll probably ever need. People trust Seiko for watches that are as finely crafted as they are technologically advanced. In fact, people trust Seiko more than any other watch.
Coach Eddie Johnson may be headed for Coach of the Year honors in Pittsburgh. The way he's got those Penguins rolling, one big reason is the kid in goal, Michel Dion. And Dion is certainly a favorite with Norris Trophy winner Randy Carlyle.
I think the acquisition of Michel, I don't know how other teams had given up on him so easily. I think the big thing was his contact lenses, and for a goaltender, you know, that's your number one piece of your equipment is your eyes, and I guess he had a depth perception, and they corrected it with contact lenses. So he's been a big plus for us. You can just go through the Penguin Player of the Month for 2 months in a row. He's definitely been our number one player.
We're trying our best to get Pittsburgh the hockey team they're worthy of, and we're working hard and we're playing well, and yeah, they're starting to like it more and more, and we're picking up. You know, I don't know about hockey becoming more popular than football. It's always been
has a ways to go, I think. Yeah.
But yeah, well, we're just happy that people are getting you know, happy about the hockey game here, and they're coming in here with, you know, bigger and better crowds game after game, and that's great for this city and all the players as well.
Well, it used to be that the Penguins, like good little penguins, would roll over and play dead when other teams came around. That doesn't happen anymore. Live on CBC, this is Hockey Night in Canada.
Syncrude, we're turning oil sand into 100,000 barrels of oil a day. But that's not the only energy here. McMurray is growing with energy. Schools, medical facilities, recreation, everything a modern city should be. It's great country here, and we're looking for a few more good people with a love of the land and a job well done.
Not just a job, but more a life, a destiny. We're working hard, it really shows that's energy. We've got the energy, we've got the job, we got the life, we've got the energy.
Syncrude, now that's energy.
Darlinger, do you know what day it is? It's Herbert D. Langley Day. Who's Herbert D. Langley? He gave us our first surprise holiday. One day we had to shut down production because we didn't have stock. Herbert wasn't using long distance to phone suppliers. With long distance, you control stock immediately and eliminate costly mistakes. Where's Herbert now? We're not sure.
Business long distance. Today's way to operate.
Anybody want to play around the clock?
Gee, I'd get tired after a couple hours. First, you have to start with a double.
Can I just stick with my golden?
Hi, what's your sign?
Excellent.
Why is it some chicks can't take yes for an answer?
How do you feel about darts?
Oh, about the same as plates.
It's all on the wrist.
It's all in the glass.
The point of this commercial? When it's a good, smooth golden, you go for it.
Saturday, December 12, join us on Hockey Night in Canada for an exciting doubleheader. Our schedule features the defending Stanley Cup champions, the New York Islanders, at the Calgary Corral, playing against the Calgary Flames. And in Toronto, it's hockey's most famous rivalry as the Canadiens meet the Toronto Maple Leafs. Two great games, Toronto and Montreal, Calgary and the Islanders, Saturday, December 12, Hockey Night in Canada.
It is the Leafs 3 and Washington 2 as we prepare to start the second period of play. The Leafs had a 3-0 lead on 1 goal by Rick Vive and 2 by Bill Derlego before Washington came back with 2 power play goals. Ryan Walter and rookie Chris Valentine. The Washington Capitals outshot the Leafs 15-13, and the second period is underway. Dave Hodge with Gary Green and Dorney Dornhofer in the broadcast booth tonight. Darren Veach took a shot, came right to the side of the net. The Capitals trying to keep it alive, and Tremblay holds it for a faceoff. A goal in Vancouver, the Canucks against the Oilers. Scored by Harold Sneps, Vancouver defenseman. We're watching 2 other games tonight, trying to bring you highlights of the Calgary-Montreal game, which is tied at 1, and Edmonton at Vancouver. Harold Sneps scoring for the Canucks. Anderson with Derlego and Vive. The big line for the Leafs. Derlego fires one. Jensen almost came too far. Holds the puck. And Rick Vive was alone on that right side, and the puck got past Jensen.
Well, a two-on-one play, and it looked like Derlego was trying to throw it over to Vive, but just hooked from behind.
You saw Kevin Lavalle's goal for Calgary. Rookie Craig Laughlin scored for Montreal prior to that. Now the Oilers have tied it. Dave Lumley has scored in 9 consecutive games. The new right winger for Wayne Gretzky. The Bruins ahead of Quebec 3-2. Philadelphia leading Detroit 3-1. Nothing on 4 other games that are being played in the NHL tonight. The Detroit goal, by the way, by Willie Huber. As people wonder about Gare and others, here's Anderson shooting and hitting the goal post. Anderson back of the net. Finds the man at the point. Gibson, his shot is wide. Carpenter just got it out over the line. Terry Murray looks for someone to give it to. Howard Walker behind Gartner. Now Derlego and Vive, 2-on-1. Rick Vive shoots and one. Gibson charges up and was lucky that the Capitals didn't catch the Leafs as it got by the Leaf defenseman. Vive flips it in. Anderson races forward. A big shift by this Leaf line. Here's Melrose at the point. Off a skate. Anderson back of the net. Takes it from Walker. Tried to center it to Luce. And the Capitals all tangled up in their own zone. Just shoot it out. And down the ice. It will not be icing. 5 new players on for Washington. Luce checked momentarily by Tukey. And offside at the Washington line. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
This is my good friend Freddie. Only Freddie isn't much good if his batteries don't work, so we use Duracell.
Tests show that after just a few hours of continuous use, regular carbon batteries wear out. But depending on the toy, you can get 4, 5, up to 6 times more use from Duracell. Duracell lasts longer. Duracell. The copper top battery. No regular battery looks like it.
Oh, it lasts like it.
Gary, I guess you know him pretty well.
Well, I certainly do. Brian was the coach of Pembroke when I was in Peterborough. We had a working agreement with him. Brian seemingly got his arms crossed there. He doesn't know quite where to put them. That was always a stumbling block for me, where to put my arms.
Well, Brian Murray will sit another part of his anatomy right beside Brian McFarland in the second intermission. Here's Tukey being grabbed, and a great chance by Bobby Gould. He just couldn't put the puck into a near wide open net after Tukey set him up. McGill along the boards. The Capitals get it away from him. Duchesne at the point. Here's the burst. That shot deflected by Gould, and Tremblay will hold on for a faceoff.
Well, the Capitals are starting to apply a little pressure, and normally, like most teams in the National Hockey League, send 2 men in the forecheck. We had a look at Bobby Gould. He was a 7th-round pick in '77 with Atlanta, New Hampshire University, and had an excellent start with a Calgary Flames, scored a hat trick, and then everything seemed to go downhill for him. But here he is in Washington.
Did pretty well for the Flames in the playoffs last year, too.
Yes, he did.
Brought him up. Showing you as many of these new Washington players, 8 rookies in the Capitals lineup tonight. Derlego with 2 goals on the night. Got the puck. Randy Holt intercepted, and the Capitals try to organize in their zone with Terry Murray giving it to Randy Holt, another ex-Calgary Flame. Gartner shot the puck in. Jarvis was offside at the Leaf line.
Well, you wonder how much patience Mike Nicoluk has, but they seem to have responded to his pep talk. And Gary, how much responsibility is on a coach for motivation? I mean, you really have to motivate these guys every single night?
Well, Darnie, players are supposed to be self-motivators, but that doesn't always happen. As a coach, you got to put the icing on the cake. You got to put on the final touches.
Mike Nicoluk and most of his players admitted that Wednesday's loss to Hartford was the low point of the Leaf season. Rick Vaive, one of those who is attempting to turn it around tonight with a strong first period. Shot it into the Washington zone. The veteran Terry Murray gave it to Jarvis. Torrey Robertson feeding Jarvis in the slot. It was behind him. Holt came up and wrapped it around the glass. Jarvis behind the net. There was nobody in front for that pass. And Vaive to Derlego. Jarvis takes it from him. Gartner lets go the shot. Tremblay will hold it and get a whistle.
Now there's Torrey Robinson, another of the youngsters, 20 years old, and you look at his stats from junior, 111 points, but 274 minutes in penalty. Very aggressive youngster.
That's very difficult to do, Darnie, to score that many points and spend that much time in the penalty box. But Torrey's an aggressive young man that really wants to play in this league badly, and he's been showing it in the last few games.
Had a couple of goals in a recent game against Calgary. Gibson back at the Leaf net. Veach at center ice for Washington, off the boards. He just hands it back to the Maple Leafs. Some good checking by Valentine. You can notice Chris Valentine does not skate nearly as well as some on the ice, but he has been in on both Washington goals. Pema, Jensen will play the safe route and hold on. Tonight's game coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Looking for a great toy this Christmas? Don't be surprised to find it at Canadian Tire. Looking for a few toys? A lot of toys. Don't be surprised to find them among Canadian Tire's incredible Christmas toy selection. All the toys kids want most, from Fisher-Price, Kenner, Mattel, Parker, and Ideal. All the dolls, cars, trucks, learning toys, and electronic games your kids have been asking for. All at low Canadian Tire prices. So don't be surprised if they disappear fast. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
There's Dennis Baruch. Last night's 4-goal effort was the 4th of his NHL career, and it's the 3rd time he's had 6 points in a game. That is select company indeed. Pee Wee Marouk with the puck, a good right wing pass. Valentine will take the shot and scores. The 194th player in the draft has his 3rd point of the game and his 2nd goal.
Well, Valentine really blasted a good shot there from the top of the circle along the ice in the far corner. And perhaps he had a little bit of room to shoot in that area, but play set up beautifully by Marouk. I mean, he thread the needle there, hit Valentine while he was in stride.
Bernie, you notice how Valentine got his head up before he took that shot. Certainly knew where he was going to put it.
I thought only experienced players knew how to do that, but there's a youngster that, since he's been called up, he's been very prominent in the Capitals' attack.
Marouk started it off with a good pass. Now he hands it to Payma. But the Capitals with Valentine giving it to Marouk. Get it out. Marouk fired it in. Bumping with McGill is Ryan Walter, centering a near open net for Valentine again. Now it's Martin for the Leafs. Trailing the play, but offside was Don Luce. And there he is, Chris Valentine. Some more action in Montreal, Dorney.
Well, the Canadians are battling back, and kind of a defensive lapse there by Pat Reagan. He went behind, and LaRouche was able to take a perfect feed from Lafleur, and that game is now tied at 2.
The go-ahead goal for Calgary, Willie Plett. Tied there, tied here, 3-3. Mano behind the Maple Leaf net, being watched, and he just dumped it into the neutral zone and down beyond the Washington blue line. Murray. Center, Carpenter almost got loose. He has another chance. His big shot is handled by Tremblay with the quick glove. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Well, Mike Nicolak was happy early in the first period with a 3-0 lead. The other 3 on the Washington side of the scoreboard makes him less so now.
Well, Dave, that penalty, it wasn't so bad, the penalty to Ernie Godden, but when he had something to say to the referee and got that extra 2 minutes, that has really hurt.
Sittler has Robert on his right. Rene Robert back to Sittler. It's in.
Well, we have certainly seen some great individual performances by both teams, and that was one of them, a 2-on-1 break. That's the 3rd time this period that the Leafs have had the 2-on-1, but what a perfect pass by Robert to Sittler, and all he had to do was direct it in the net.
Darryl certainly found that empty net there, but what a beautiful pass by Rene Robert. Al Jensen got himself caught a little bit too far out, didn't really play it as though Darryl Sittler was going to have an opportunity to score.
It looked like he was playing the shooter all the way and not expecting the pass, but it took a well-executed pass to put that one in the net.
Capitals fire it into the Leaf zone, and Toronto's Vive gives it to Derlago. Anderson shoots one. Duchesne got to the rebound before Vive had a chance. Veach to Thaberge. Bobby Gould on the right side knocks it over the Leaf line. Melrose turns with it, watched by Tukey. Pass went past Vive and past Thaberge into the Washington end. Jensen leads it. Veach bumped off the puck by Anderson. This is loose. No one with him. Vive looking for a pass. Centered, and the Capitals get it out over the line with Duchesne and Gould coming the other way. Duchesne checked by Gibson. Loose down the right side. Dropping it, and Murray knocked it out. There will be a penalty called to Washington as Luce and Randy Holt were involved. Holt is the only one going at the moment. Well, perhaps Luce got himself involved too just at the end of that play, and so a player from each side is being penalized with a score Toronto 4, Washington 3. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Know someone who's suffering from chronic wake-up pain? Give her a 222, a Chronomatic 222 from Radio Shack. On sale now for $47.95 with snooze button and AM or FM music to gently rouse her from her dreams. Radio Shack's 222 for soothing relief this Christmas morning.
Can't wait. Radio Shack. Can't wait. Radio Shack.
Randy Holt got a pair of minor penalties, 4 minutes in total, and Don Luce just one penalty. So in 2 minutes' time, the Leafs will have a power play. Almost an opportunity for Pema. Boymstruck and Mano at the Leaf blue line spots. Ryan Walder doing the forechecking for Washington. Jensen leaves it for Walker and did so because it is icing against the Leafs.
Here, I guess this would be a good opportunity to find out, you know, what's in store for Gary Green. Are you just biding your time, or I'm sure you still want to stay involved in the coaching aspect?
Well, Dorney, Don Cherry told me once that being with you guys was a heck of a lot more fun than certainly coaching hockey. I've got another year left after this on my contract, and so I'm just going to let kind of time take its course. When the next job comes available, if it does, well, then we'll play it by ear.
Don Cherry must have offered you his other hint. There's more money to be made in the NHL than there is up here. Veach for Valentine, who has really been a stick out here. He sets up Wes Jarvis. He goes in, and Tremblay made a great stop, extending the arm and the stick. Otherwise, Wes Jarvis would have tied this game.
Well, you'll see the Edmonton Oilers as they score a goal with Gretzky doing the work, and then Forbes will come in and tuck that rebound.
We'll see it in a minute. That was the opportunity by Wes Jarvis just a moment ago. At least I hope we'll see it in a minute. Wes Jarvis would be happy that you thought he was Wayne Gretzky.
Sure looked like Wayne Gretzky. Same moves like Wayne Gretzky.
Anyway, you've told us that Edmonton has taken a lead. Is that right?
That is correct.
Now Robert, who set up Sittler for the go-ahead goal, goes in himself and scores!
Now Rennie Robert has always had a devastating shot, but you're going to see on this replay that Jensen really doesn't get good position. He's coming out, and as he's coming out, the puck is sliding by him and perfectly placed just inside the right goal post.
Darnay, I think even if Al had been in better position, notice how that puck is about 2 inches from the goal post. It was just a beautiful shot, and Rennie Robert really blasted that. He could be called the master blaster like they call Mike Gartner in Washington.
Rennie Robert, an assist and a goal, and the Leafs have now taken a 5-3 lead. Sittler trying to drop it again for Robert, who tries to return it to Sittler. Walker for Washington. And to slow things down back of the Capitals' goal. Gartner ridden off by Melrose as the Capitals shoot it in over top of the net. Robert now for Sittler. Darryl Sittler lost the puck. Robert picked it up, set it up for Benning. His shot is stopped by Jensen, and Gartner for Gustafsson. Back to Gartner. He's alone, 1-on-2. Walker trying to catch up, and the pass just eluded him. Gustafsson is there. Could not center it as Benning blocked the play. Benning flipping it into the Washington zone. Leafs will take that opportunity to change as Veach made a bad pass. Bob Mano comes out with it for the Leafs. Anderson let it go, and it was offside. Boimstruck not in position to make the play. This game is coming to you from Toronto.
Getting away with a friend or two, taking a day to spend it with you. Every minute has some good times in it, and now they're rolling away. There's a breakaway kind of beer with a taste that's clean and clear. Molson Canadian, the great Canadian breakaway.
After the Capitals tied it early in this second period, the Leafs have come back with 2 goals, Sittler and Robert. 10:31 remaining in the second period. Mano, Boimstruck now, and Mano. Rick Vive, he'll shoot it over top of the net. Rebound is dangerous, open net. And the Caps held it out with Jensen out of the play. Boimstruck shot, and Jensen will hold on to that one. Now, let us go to Vancouver, Gary.
Well, this time we're going to see it.
In the attacking zone, the crowd is going, ooh, ah, what's going to happen all night long as he owns the puck. They score! Ford, shot from the point.
Well, you know that Gretzky's always going to be involved in a play, but he set up Mike Forbes on a blast from the point. So the Edmonton Oilers have taken a 2-1 lead in the second period in Vancouver.
The Oilers win that game. You know, they go 14 points ahead in their division. They'll clinch it by Christmas, unofficially, if they haven't done so already. Here's Sittler. Capitals are shorthanded. Randy Holt sitting out the second of his 2 minors. Sittler's shot across the goal mouth, and it will come out over the line. Darryl Sittler around Terry Murray. Murray got back there to the puck and sent it away.
You know, Dave, what I've seen so far tonight, this has to be Darryl Sittler's finest game. He's really shown a lot of enthusiasm out there, handling the puck, setting up plays.
Payma taking it away from the rookie Duchesne. Now he took it from Payma, knocked it out. Seems the Leafs have to play a bad game to ever play a good one. Where they have had good games, you can usually look at the one previous and find out it has been a bad display.
That has to be very frustrating for coaches too, inconsistency, and we've seen it around the league.
Well, that's what puts gray hairs on coaches very fast.
You're not gray.
I pulled them out every single morning, Darnie. Honestly, I did.
Now, how do you approach that with players, though? You know, I'm sure you talk about it. Where is the downfall, or where does that occur?
Darnie, consistency is what makes the difference between a good National Hockey League and an average one. Lower place clubs usually have more average players than do the New York Islanders and the better teams.
14 seconds remaining in the penalty to Holt as the Leafs maintain their pressure. Sittler tried to center it. The Capitals get it to the line, not out. Robert off Gould's skate. Berge around the boards, and Holt is now out of the box. He takes the puck offside as he gets back into the play. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Someday soon, who knows where, you will discover magic. Introducing more Capri Magic from Mercury. Full instrumentation. 5-speed option. Reclining bucket seats. Capri. Until you drive one, you'll never know what you're missing.
We have 8:54 remaining in the second period. The Leafs on top of Washington 5-3. Talk about consistency, especially with a young team. That's what surprises me most about Edmonton, because they have become, in very short order, a consistent team.
I think they've been together, you know, for this is their 3rd year in the National Hockey League, and they grew up together, they suffered together, and it's paying off.
Godden on the ice for the Leafs. He's got some moves. He could not get around the veteran Murray as the puck slid to Al Jensen.
Tonight in our second intermission, stay tuned for Pro Tips, the first segment of a two-part series on coaching. Your instructors are from Calgary, Flames head coach Al McNeil and his assistant Pierre Paget. Coaching strategies on Pro Tips tonight, second intermission.
Tim Tukey for Washington coming over the line. Robertson let a weak shot go. Robertson again, couldn't get it back to the point as Martin intercepted. Here's Saganuk returning the pass to Terry Martin. Right in front, Godden scores! First goal of the National Hockey League, and he'll want the puck.
Come on, Ernie, go in that net and get it. Well, again, a well-executed pass, give and go, but Terry Martin, exceptional play here, using the backhand. Again, sees the man cruising in the slot, and Godden, it looked like that went right through the legs of Jensen.
Again, Ernie Godden really took a look there just before he accepted that pass. Good backhand pass by Martin. If players only could utilize that backhand more often, it's certainly a deceiving situation when a player can give a good backhand pass or a good backhand shot. Is that the first goal for Ernie Godden?
That's his first.
Maybe the first of many.
Well, a lot of times we've seen where players have the puck on their backhand, and a lot of times they'll turn around and use their forehand. By that time, the play's broken up.
Well, the Capitals right where they were early in the first period, now down by 3. Toronto erupting for 6 goals. Still close to 8 minutes to go in the second period. Boimstruck, he's looking for his first in this league. Dropping it for Anderson. Their perfect pass to Lego, hit the side of the net. Puck still in the Washington zone. This line of Derlego, Anderson, and Vive has been all over the place for the Leafs. Anderson for Derlego.
It's been Christmas by the Leafs. You know, the passes have been hard. They've been crisp, right on the stick. And that's why the chances have been there. They've looked very enthusiastic the whole game.
Robert dropping it for Sittler. Interception by Carpenter. The heralded rookie tried to set up. Marucki took a shot, didn't get much on it. Carpenter back in the net. This is Valentine, and McGill, and he scores! Maruck set up by Valentine. Carpenter was embroiled with McGill back in the net, and Dennis Marucka's goal number 22.
Well, I guess when you're hot, but Maruck did some fancy work in front of that net. It looked like Benning had him all tied up. We didn't really get a good look at Maruck. Here it comes, where you'll see Maruck getting that position. You know, there's a good case in point that had Benning been in that outside post, he would have got a better position against Maruck. He was kind of spinning around trying to find him, but you can't leave a guy like Maruck uncovered in front of your net and not pay for it.
A little inexperience on Benning's part, leaving a guy like Maruck open.
And that is now 4 points for Chris Valentine. He's been in on all of them for the Capitals, who trail by 2. Seems to me I've seen a game like this a few other times in the league this year. Carpenter, shot blocked by McGill. He and Carpenter renew acquaintances very shortly after that goal. Gartner got it near Gustafson, and now Tremblay will hold on, and McGill really gave it to Carpenter, who comes back at him.
Don't underestimate the strength of young Bobby Carpenter. He may have just turned 18 in the summer, Dave, but I've seen him in some duels before. Took on Kenny Linsman in training camp. He's a very strong young man.
They teach that at St. John's Prep in Peabody, Massachusetts, do they?
He didn't get much opportunity then at St. John's Prep, so he's got to utilize it now.
He didn't waste any time throwing McGill to the ice. Boy.
Well, that was coming from a few minutes earlier. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
The people who take Dristan for a cold usually say it helps them a lot. There's a good reason. 3 good reasons, in fact. You see, in every tablet, we put 3 cold medicines. Antihistamine for sniffles, decongestant for stuffiness, and there's also ASA for fever and aches. 3 cold medicines in one. 3 kinds of relief. Try Dristan for your next bad cold. It helps. A lot.
Major penalties to Carpenter and McGill, and I have a feeling the Leaf player got off a little bit lightly.
Well, it looks like he was throwing the cross-check there. And, both of them, again, major penalties. Looked at each other, dropped the stick and gloves, and had a tussle.
6-4 Leafs with 6 minutes remaining in period number 2. Terry Murray plays the puck ahead with his glove, gets it himself, and shoots it around. Here is Gustafsson leaving the puck, and the Capitals try to get it back to the line, and right past Holt. Murray, a good pass to Jarvis, stepped away from a check. Holt will try to follow up for Washington. Heading for the net is Gartner, and he almost got a stick on it. Gartner again. This is Veach. Now Payma for the Leafs. 3 of them break out. Don Luce with Martin on his left, dropping for Payma, but offside. Called by Ray Scapanello. Again, a reminder about next week on Hockey Night in Canada. You need to be reminded that you will be very interested in the Montreal-Toronto game, the first of 3 meetings between the arch rivals this season. That game will be seen in Ontario, Quebec, and the Atlantic provinces, and for viewers in the West, Calgary hosting the New York Islanders. Join us 1 week from tonight for Montreal at Toronto or the Islanders at Calgary here on Hockey Night in Canada. Duchesne has the puck behind the Washington net. Flipping it in. Boymstruck turns. Duchesne is watching him. 5 let it roll off his stick, but Mano picked it up. LeBurge for Washington. He's allowed to come out to center ice. Shot stopped by Tremblay. Nobody going for it for Washington. Mano behind the net to Boymstruck. And Boymstruck has a clear path to center. He passes the puck to John Anderson. Checked by Gould. The puck lies loose for Derlego. Boymstruck at the point. Score! And unless it's deflected, that's his first NHL goal.
No, I think Derlego got that one, but there's another good example. When you're allowed to cross over that blue line and you're not challenged at the blue line, what damage you can do. You'll see Boymstruck on the ice. Derlego will get that stick in front of it and deflect it in the net.
Certainly can't blame goalie Al Jensen for that one. When they redirect from the slot area, again, good shot there by Boymstruck. Did it?
Or it
I wondered whether it went up.
Vive, eh?
Maybe even with a little help there on a screen from Darren Veach.
Well, let's see if we can pick it up here. I still think that Derlego had the deflection on that one, but we'll wait for the...
Rick Vive.
Wrong.
Assist number 11, Fred Boymstruck. And number 19, Bill Derlego. Time 15:39.
Rick Vive from Fred Boymstruck and Bill Derlego. Time 15:39.
Well, Derlego and Vive in on another goal. Rick Vive scoring it. Derlego drawing an assist along with Boymstruck. And it's now 7-4. The Leafs take that 3-goal lead again, and there's a 2-on-1 chance. Maloney and Sittler. Sittler shoots. Rebound. Maloney scores.
Gary, I guess you'll agree that when you find yourself 3 goals down, you have to start forcing at the blue line and pinching in. Well, anytime you do that, you're vulnerable for those breaks against you. It was a 2-on-1 break again with Sittler taking the shot and the rebound, and then Maloney, having perfect possession, was able to tap it home.
He really should never have got an opportunity to get his own rebound here, right?
Should have been taken out there.
No question about that.
And number 14, Rennie Robert.
Berge just skated by him and into the corner. Couldn't really pick him out, but...
and Rennie Robert, time 16:13.
The Leafs have now doubled the score on Washington. It's 8-4. 3.5 minutes remaining in this second period. Ernie Godden, who has his first National Hockey League goal in this game, got it over the line. Now Benning. For Saginaw. Leafs keep it in. Murray around on the boards. Valentine couldn't get to it. Godden checked by Valentine. And now Ryan Walter dangerously flipping the puck. He took a heavy hit from Melrose. Saginaw goes and gets it for the Leafs, and he will get up ahead of steam. He is checked by Valentine, but Melrose saved it at the Leaf blue line. Now Anderson. Rebound, Godden. Oh, and Jensen stopped that. It's still loose, still there, and they whip it out with a glove. That'll be whistled down, and how many can the Leafs get if this continues like this?
Well, they're certainly pouring it on. You saw Rocky Saginaw. He had the afterburners going really with a burst of speed, but you know, you don't take somebody and knock him off the puck, you're going to have a lot of chances.
Al Jensen here is certainly being tested tonight. He'll certainly be working up a sweat, isn't he? He might have to change sweaters at the end of the second period.
He makes 2 more stops and 3 as Luce gets a final whack at it.
Now, Gary, everybody's been talking this year why we've seen so many goals, but you know, if players know they're not going to get hit, they're going to freewheel all night. And in the Washington zone, they really haven't thrown any body checks, and you see the result, how the Leafs are buzzing around.
Jarvis for the Capitals, trying to find Gustafson on the left side. Jarvis took a shot. Bell trying to get to the rebound, and Payma comes out with Martin. Payma shot it in. Martin goes for it against Beach. Beach for Gartner. Loose, keeping it in. 2 minutes remaining in the second period. 8-4 in favor of Toronto. Gartner racing with Loose. Gibson got it around on the boards. They will hold it there and get a whistle with 1:51 left.
Well, there again, the crossed arms, just wondering what to say next, but
I think I've been in this situation with this team a few times before.
And now you know why Don Cherry says it's more fun up here.
I think Brian will have a few things to say at the end of the second period, but don't give the Caps up yet for the third period.
Well, it really looked like Washington was coming back. They tied it, they were applying the pressure, and then the roof fell in.
Tukey back of the net, trying to set up Gould in front, and Gould was hauled down. There'll be a Leaf penalty on the play. Is electricity the fuel of the future? Should you convert your current oil system to gas or electricity? Or would better insulation be your best bet? Marketplace looks at the energy question tomorrow on CBC. Penalty is to Bill Derlago for hooking.
Well, you'll see it right in front of the net as Derlago comes in to take number 23, Bobby Gould, out of the play. He receives a penalty.
Aaron Veach on the Washington power play got hit loose. He is hauled down by Veach, and thus ends the Washington manpower advantage.
Well, that certainly didn't take very long to take care of any power play advantage, but Anderson with a great burst of speed. Looked like it had been another 2-on-1 for the Leafs, and Veach hauled them down.
So the teams play 5 aside for the remainder of this second period. 1:33 left in it. Takes the Berge. Pass behind Marouk. Walter goes for it. Put it through the crease. The Berge shot from the point, deflected into the crowd by Marouk.
You know, when you talk about youngsters, you said you coached the Berge. Now, when you were the coach of the Capitals, how much teaching is there involved for the young kids coming up? I mean, you have to spend much time with them, or are most of them able to step right in there and do a job effectively?
Well, Dorney, gone are the days when you're even getting 22 or 23-year-olds after they spent a few years in the minors. Right now, you're getting the 18-year-olds that have only played sometimes only 1 year of junior hockey. You got to continue the teaching program.
The Burrs tried to slide it to Terry Murray, who will go in for it. Boehm struck around on the boards, and the Leafs shoot it out to center ice as we enter the final minute of the second period. Murray or Maruka was intercepted by Vive. Mano comes back with Anderson. Mano waiting. And a weak shot toward Jensen. The Burrs on a beleaguered Washington defense with Terry Murray. They really do show the absence of Rick Green. He was thrown out of this game early, if you've just joined us, for being the third man into an altercation. John Anderson, checked by Murray. Puck lies there. Rook unable to get it out. Vive flipped it, trying to get it around on the boards for Sittler, but it went into the crowd with 20 seconds remaining. Rick Vive has 3 points. So do Sittler and Robert for the Leafs. Marook 3 points for Washington, and Chris Valentine is 4.
Well, Gary, getting back to that with teaching the youngsters, with the travel time, how much opportunity do you get to really teach? Your practices are at a bare minimum.
I think so many people don't realize, Darnie, is the amount of time that is spent traveling in this league and the few practices that really a National Hockey League coach does get with a team.
Randy Holt as the seconds tick away. The end of the second period. Howard Walker at center for Washington. He'll shoot one at Tremblay. Goes to his knees to make the stop. Melrose falls down. Valentine back of the net. Shoots one, and it is wide as the period comes to an end. You'll hear from Washington coach Brian Murray in the second intermission, and of course pro tips with Howie Meeker. The score at the end of 2 periods, Toronto 8 and Washington 4.
Also that day. Getting away with a friend or two, taking a day to spend it with you. Good times are here for the taking, and now they're rolling your way. Right with the wind and flow like a wave, giving it more than I ever gave. Every minute has some good times in it, and now they're rolling away. It's a breakaway kind of feel, with a taste that's clean and clear. Molson Canadian, the great Canadian breakaway. Molson Canadian, the great Canadian breakaway.
Everywhere, people are discovering the variety of Amway quality products without going shopping.
My laundry looks great with Amway SA8.
Nutrilite Food Bars by Amway get me through the morning.
Artistry Cosmetics and Jewelry by Amway get me through the evening.
Amway has it all.
Shop the world of Amway, so easy to do.
Why is this man using his old all-metal iron as an anchor? Why is this woman using her old heavy iron as an exerciser? Because they switched to the new full-size Like Neasy from CGE to get top-of-the-line features and performance without all that weight. It even stays cool to the touch. So when you switch to the self-cleaning Like Neasy, what will you do with your old iron? You'll think of something.
GE, we bring good things to life.
Whatever Mike Nicoluk said to his troops after Wednesday's listless performance against Hartford, it seems to be working here tonight against Washington. 8-4 at the end of 2 periods of play. And one fella, we'd like to congratulate him on his 39th birthday. He's reached the age of Jack Benny, and King Clancy is the new coach of Washington, Brian Murray. But you're thinking of other thoughts right now, aren't you?
Well, we're sure not playing very well, Brian. We'd worked so hard to get these people ready to, play a good, solid type of hockey game, and too many fans, I guess, that are friends or whatever it may be, but we're not playing well at all.
Well, some of your young kids are doing well. Chris Valentine certainly caught our eye, but what about your goaltender now? He's having a rough evening. You're missing Palmateer and Parra. Would you put the young kid in from Oshawa, third period?
Well, I really hesitate to do it, although, you know, I haven't even had a chance to collect my thoughts to this point, so it is a possibility, Brian, but right now, Al Jensen has made some stops for us and has been given a lot of chances against him, really, so I'd have to think about it.
All right, we have Gary Green with us tonight, and we all like Gary, and you replaced him. I know you're good friends. Do you think his youth was a contributing factor to his downfall in Washington?
I don't know whether I could ever say that. I think that Gary made a real solid effort. I don't know that maybe enough people were changed around in the organization. We've come in and taken a number of young people and put them into the lineup and let them play, and I think maybe if Max and Gary would have done that earlier, maybe they wouldn't have had to start, but who's to second guess anyone? It's a matter of a guy getting a chance, really not working out for him.
You've had a terrific record since you took over, Brian, and you've got some kids there. Well, we looked at them at the beginning of the show, and most of them are strangers to our hockey fans, but you've got to be pleased with some of those kids.
Well, overall, I've been very, very pleased with them, Brian. I think they've worked awfully hard. They've worked as a unit very well. We haven't given up that many goals, and we've scored a lot and got a lot of chances, but the one thing about youth, you know you're going to have nights like tonight, and we've accepted that fact, unfortunately, that that may happen to us on occasion.
You've had more good nights than bad, though, since you took over, and I was wondering, too, how this will affect the All-Star game in Washington for the first time. When the season started out, I said, oh, that's too bad. The Caps are going so badly. There won't be much interest in the All-Star game. Do you think there'll be a resurgence now that you're starting to hit your form?
I really think there's a great interest in Washington. I think it's a great hockey town. The possibilities there are unlimited, I think. It's just a matter of having a competitive hockey team. I think that was an indication when Montreal came to town, and they're a good club, and we played well, and we had 18,000 some people in there. So I think people just want to be entertained with a competitive team.
Last question, quick answer. What's the story on Palmateer? Will he be back soon?
He'll be ready to play Wednesday night if need be.
Coach, if you need some tips, we got Howie Meeker standing by with coaching tips, pro tips, so don't go away. You're welcome to watch, but I know you want to get back to the room. Brian Murray, coach of Washington, having a good season. Hockey Night in Canada returns with pro tips in just a moment.
You know, it's amazing. A lot of folks know how to spend, but very few people know how to buy. Here's what I mean. A couple of winters ago, I used my MasterCard to buy this lawnmower when the snow was up to here and the price was down to there. Oh, and one summer, I used my MasterCard to buy this terrific snowblower. All in all, I must have saved a bundle. Excuse me. There's a sale on lawn seed. Pass up a bargain.
MasterCard. Such an intelligent way to shop.
Hello. You know, I'm a nut. If you're a nut, you know the latest. Nachos. See these? Hazelnuts. These are almonds, some Brazil nuts, cashews, and pecans. 5 different kinds of nuts. Now they put them all together, cover them with a delicious chocolatey coating, and name them nachos. Nut clusters. Nachos. The ultimate nut taste. Nachos for nuts. One is never enough.
The remarkable Philishave with the lift and cut system. 45 rotary action blades, every one of which has a unique lifter that gently lifts the hair while the cutter behind shaves it closer. Philishave from Phillips. Now you don't have to get wet to get close.
Bad news.
Oh, no. Dad has to work late today.
Yeah, fine.
We feel so bad.
Well, Dad won't be home for dinner again.
Poor old Dad. But there still is one way we can eat with our dad. You deserve a break today. You deserve a break today at McDonald's. Poor old Dad.
Practice planning is very important if the players on your team are going to enjoy their association with you. Al McNeil and Pierre Paget met for breakfast to discuss the coming day's program. Later, they fully explained the skill and game drills to everyone before going on the ice. Remember the Boy Scout motto, be prepared? If applied to hockey, it makes the game a fun, skill-learning experience for everyone. NHL Pro Tips, brought to you by Zellers. For 50 years, we've had low prices.
I'm a real hockey fan. So why don't I go to the games? Because I never want to miss the game that's on TV. It's the only place I can hear about Zellers Hockey Fans Special. See, every Monday, Zellers drops the price of a special item for fans watching this show.
Beginning Monday, Zellers drops the price of the Kraco car stereo and cassette or 8-track to just $159. Kraco 3-way speakers to just $75 a set. And this Rolly Kit storage system to only $24.97 this coming week at Zellers.
Nice shot, Zellers.
Then we'll do the goaltending drills.
Yeah, definitely.
The first drill, we're doing the long shots from far away from 3 angles.
Okay.
And then we work on the angle shots. Just angle shots.
Well,
far away.
Yeah.
As Don Edwards and Chico Resch will explain in our goaltending series, it's important to properly warm up the key men in your hockey club. Yep, I'm talking about the goaltenders. Notice, when organized, it's also a skating, puck handling, and shooting drill. Most important, it gives the netminder 5 minutes to concentrate on his angles without the fear of getting his head shot off.
The pattern's as close as possible to the game.
Yeah.
We'll start with a 1-0 from both ends, from both sides.
Yeah.
Then we'll go 1-on-1. Then we'll go 2-0, 2-on-1, 2-on-2.
Players improve skills when challenged by game conditions. When forced to pass the puck and put it right on the tape. Receive the pass without it bouncing off the blade. Go head-to-head with the defender, fake outside, and finally beat him inside. Or like Michael Bossy, who will get next to the checker, hide the puck with his body, and score a beautiful goal.
2-on-1, Dave. 2-on-1. 2-on-1. You got 2.
The only way to improve skills is by movement. In the short time you have to practice, nobody stands around. Skate with the puck, handle the puck, pass the puck, and have action and fun for the full 60 minutes.
There was a lot of 2-on-1s the last game, but the 1-on-1 we're not. We could be better on that.
If Al ever made a profound statement, that was one. A lot to be desired, but the effort is certainly there. Al, I agree. I think we really got to work at that.
Al, you and I have been around this game for a long time. Has it changed very much in the coaching aspect of it?
Yeah, it has, Howie, and it's changed more in the coaching in the last few years. With the idea of the event of 2 and 3 coaching systems now, it's made you make much more use of your practice time. You make better use of it. You haven't got as many people standing around waiting for the coach to show them this, and one end of the rink is being used. The other fellows, 6 or 7 fellows, standing around.
Hit it. Put it home. Put it in. Good
What
play.
a save by Donnie Edwards off Denny Savard. Gotta see that again. Denny can't believe it. Just plain highway robbery.
All right, heads up, and let's go with tempo. Come on. Little jump. Come on, let's go. Okay, here we go. Put it on there. Stick on the ice. There you go. Come on, right on the tape. Put it on. Come on, Larry, put it on. Kevin, you got them in. You got them in, Kevin. That's it. Take them, Kevin. There's them in. Come on, move on it. Come on, Mike. Let's pass. Come on, Davey, move back. Hit up. That's it. Get them in all the way, Larry. Come on, put it right on. Little fig, little fig, little fig. Play him, Larry. That's right. Good work. He's yours, Mike. Take him. Good work. Stay with him. Kevin. Don't lose him. Don't lose him. Highs up. Come on. Take him, David. Highs up. That's it. Put it right in. Come on, Laurie. Good take, Laurie. Beat him wide. That's it. A little tempo. Come on. All right. Here. Let's go 2. 2 guys. 2 guys. 2 guys. Go on, Mark. 2 guys. Let's go. That's it. 2 gone. 2-on-1, Dave. 2-on-1. 2-on-1. You got 2.
Next show on Pro Tips, I'm going to show my coach some of my secrets on tip-ins.
I'm not really a hockey fan, so why am I watching the game on TV? Because it's the only way I can hear about Zeller's Hockey Fan Special. You see, every Monday, Zellers drops the price of a special item for the fans watching this show.
Beginning Monday, Zellers drops the price of the Craco car stereo and cassette array track to just $159. Craco three-way speakers to just $75 a set, and this Rolly Kit storage system to only $24.97 this coming week at Zellers.
Now, some people find the games just as exciting.
NHL Pro Tips, brought to you by Zellers. For 50 years, we've had low prices.
Saturday, December 12th, join us on Hockey Night in Canada for an exciting doubleheader. Our schedule features the defending Stanley Cup champions, the New York Islanders, at the Calgary Corral, playing against the Calgary Flames. And in Toronto, it's hockey's most famous rivalry as the Canadiens meet the Toronto Maple Leafs. Two great games, Toronto and Montreal, Calgary and the Islanders, Saturday, December 12th, Hockey Night in Canada. Toronto Maple Leafs are getting good work from the veteran performers tonight, and they lead the Washington Capitals 8-4 after 2 periods of play, and a penalty-filled first period kept things delayed a little bit. Now, we mentioned the veterans. We have fellows out there tonight like Sittler and Robert and Dan Maloney, and they were lectured a little bit by Coach Mike Nicolak this week because they have not been playing up to par, and he was very unhappy after the game on Wednesday night. But they're in form tonight against the Caps, and the good young Caps are Valentine and the kid Carpenter just out of high school. Caps having trouble in goal tonight, so it's 8-4 after 2 periods of play. We'll return with Hockey Night in Canada on CBC in just a moment.
Small copiers, small prices. Small copiers, small prices. Small copiers, small prices. This way, brothers. Small copiers, small prices. Small copiers, small prices. Small copiers, small prices.
Big copiers?
Small copiers, small prices. Small copiers, small prices.
When a visiting delegation asked Brother Dominic to match their very fussy requirements to their particularly small means, he simply introduced them to one of the fussy and stingy copiers from Xerox. And because Xerox has more small copiers than anyone else, they found one that was just the right size, just the right quality, and also solved the problem of their particularly small purse.
And the price, Brother Dominic? It's a miracle.
Dr. Albert Lowe is interned in a prison camp tomorrow night on Home Fires. Gerard Park stars at 9:30 in Newfoundland on CBC.
Getting ready for the third period. The Leafs in front of Washington by a score of 8-4. And here's all the fun we had in the second period. Valentine tied it. Sittler, Robert, and Godden. 3 in a row for the Leafs. Marouk one back for Washington, then Vines second of the night, and Maloney making it 8-4. The Leafs getting 17 shots at Al Jensen. Washington taking 11 at Vince Tremblay.
All right, Gary, you know Brian, what would he tell the players after that second period?
Well, knowing Brian Dorney, he probably said, look, you guys should be observant enough that I've wheeled 14 players in now to here. Don't bet that your name will be on the stall by the time you get back to Washington tomorrow morning if we don't win this third period.
Or I just had to go on TV and talk about you guys. John Anderson in the Leaf zone being watched by Marouk. Away for the Leafs, but Walker couldn't do anything with it. And Derlego comes out for Toronto. Passing behind Mano. He'll wait for it off the boards and shoot it into the Washington zone. Anderson gets there first. Has it again. Valentine knocked it out to Walter. Gives it back to the Washington rookie. Valentine off the boards. Vines is there first. Valentine finds it in his possession once more. Right near Marouk in front of the net, and he hit the side of the net on the second opportunity. Valentine was set up by Walter, but couldn't control the puck, and here's Anderson. He was checked by Veach. Valentine down the right side. The puck went off his stick. Gibson around on the boards. Carpenter for Valentine. Left it for Thaberge. He shot it toward the net. Melrose knocked it out over the line. Beach couldn't hit a teammate. Melrose for Pema. Now loose. Offside. Terry Martin. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
No matter what we tell you, we carry. Whenever we say Canadian Tire, you think we've got the biggest names in sporting goods. But when we say Canadian Tire, you think we've got a huge selection of brand name tools and hardware. But we say Canadian Tire and... So now, after seeing all this, when I say Canadian Tire, what do you think? Now you got it.
There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
That was the score after the second period. No scoring as we played almost 2 minutes of this third period. Jensen still in the net for the Capitals. Walker back of that net. Martin thought he had a chance. It was intercepted by Gustafson, and Walker brings it out for Washington. Drop pass. Stepping in front of Murray was Gustafson, and he handed it to Leaf defenseman Melrose. Gartner just managed to flip it out, and the Leafs control with McGill. Play has slowed noticeably now. Leafs knocking it in. Pema couldn't control a bouncing puck. Walker couldn't either. Pema for Luce. Maloney trying to get in position in front of the net. Luce couldn't get it there. And it's Gartner flipping it to center.
Well, Dave, you know that a lot of times 1 or 2 goals would always be enough to win. But nowadays, the way it's played, a big enough lead, you know, the way we have it right now is never enough to win. A lot of things can happen.
Tukey for Duchesne. He tried to set up Gould cutting across. And Sittler for the Leafs. They swing into the Washington zone. Sittler stopping, dropped it, and Tukey knocked it out. Bob McGill, left wing pass for Maloney. Shot is handled by Jensen. Maloney again for Sittler back in the net. Robert comes in to pick it up. He centered it. It is loose. Sittler shoots one, didn't get much on it, and the Capitals block it and take it to center ice. Gould is dumped by Mano. Mano has the puck. Lies there in the center zone for Thaberge. Walder and Boimstruck tangle with each other. Neither could get to the puck, and Mano gets it to Derlego. Beach for Washington handed it to Anderson. He couldn't keep it in. He waits for his teammates now. John Anderson burrows out of a hole, but Derlego scores the hat trick for Bill Derlego.
Well, this has been such a potent unit for the Maple Leafs. The one real bright spot that the Leafs have had. But what a great individual effort here by Anderson. He should never have been able to cross over the blue line, but it gets away from 3 Capitals, and then the perfect pass to Derlego, who gets away from his check. And you know, Gary, when you see that, as a coach, you just cringe. You know, somebody take the guy out.
You sure do. But John Anderson down on both knees and was still able to control that puck, up on his feet then, and made that beautiful pass. Exceptional effort by John Anderson.
Well, when you talk about second effort, there is a good indication.
This line has contributed 5 goals, 3 of them by Derlego, the other 2 by Vive. There's Rick Vive being hooked as he went for the loose puck, and Jensen's going to hold it. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Energizer. Mom, can we play the radio all night?
All night. Good thing How about the Energizer?
Of all leading brands, nothing outlasts the Energizer from Everready. Nothing outsnaps it. Nothing out-adds, outwalks, outplays, outtapes, outshines, outlasts it. Nothing.
The Energizer even outlasted Susie.
Energizer, Energizer, for life.
Long life.
Energize me.
15:24 remaining, and the fans at Maple Leaf Gardens want double figures.
Well, Dave, I think now the lead is safe, you know.
Are you sure, Darnie?
I'm sure.
Robertson held up by McGill. They had a scrap in the first period. Leafs don't get it out. Gartner hauled down by Payma, an obvious infraction, and Wilf Payma will go to the penalty box for 2 minutes or less. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Just perchance you perceive, since Perry, Paul, Pam, Penny, Peter, and Patrick picked the pleasure pack, that your name must begin with P to purchase one. Relax. Susan picked the pleasure pack. Marty picked the pleasure pack. Ernie and Diane picked the pleasure pack. Jack picked the pleasure pack. And Perry picked the Molson's pleasure pack.
The Washington power play is underway, and the Leafs have Don Luce to kill it off with Martin. Capitals have Marook out with Walter and Valentine. Here's Valentine with 4 points on the night. Tremblay swept that away. Gustafson at the point with Darren Veach. And that'll come out because of Terry Martin's persistence. Luce takes it from Gustafson. Don Luce trying to get in. He does. And where's the puck? It's loose. Now they will blow the whistle for a penalty.
Well, we have some action in Vancouver, and the Edmonton Oilers are really pouring it on now. Well, not really getting a high score, but playing good defensive hockey. Lumley, who has had a new lease on life since he started playing with Gretzky, scores his second goal of the game as the Edmonton Oilers lead 3-1.
Again, that consecutive game streak for Dave Lumley has reached 9 games. The NHL record, modern day,
13,
belongs to Charlie Simmer. That penalty was to Darren Veach, so the teams play 5-a-side. We have 124 penalty minutes in the game. DeBerge for Washington, got it to Marook. Offside at the Maple Leaf line. You know, the Capitals enter a stretch of games in about a week's time and maybe as tough as they'll see all season. They play their 2 top teams in their division on the road. That's the Islanders in Pittsburgh. They go into Montreal, and they've got Chicago back-to-back, and another game with the Leafs next Friday.
I guess that would be the hardest thing, you know, especially for an inexperienced team, youngsters, after a loss, you know, to regain their confidence. Big responsibility for a coach.
You should have 10 of them in a row.
Bob Mano for the Leafs, waiting, tried to spot Sittler. Murray intercepted. Marook racing for it with Boynestruck. Mano taking care with that puck, giving it to Boynestruck for Sittler. He and Robert. Sittler and Murray fall to the ice. Jensen knocked it around back of the net, and the Capitals get it out just. Now Thaberge carries on. Offside is Marook. With 13:24 left, the Leafs appear obvious winners, and they will, of course, try to add a 10th goal. This fellow knows all about mounting up the score. 50 of them last year, 22 so far this year.
Well, Dennis Marook, certainly, he just got a new contract at the first of the season after about 10 games. he can put that puck in the net. His skill is offensively inclined. He's not a great defensive player, but who needs to be in a lot of cases when you can put 50 goals in the net. That's something the Capitals need badly, and Maruk's the key guy to do that for them.
Well, that's what they had said about Gretzky, too, that he's not a good two-way player, but goodness sakes, he's always in the other zone. Who cares if he can play defense or not?
Capitals do not keep it in. Howard Walker was hoping, but Ray Scapanello ended that hope with the blowing of the whistle. Mike Nicolak.
Gary, what is your feeling on long-term contracts with players? Does it make a difference in their play, or does it vary with individuals?
Well, Dorney, I think it varies with individual, just like business. If a guy feels that he's got a lot of security, then complacency can set in. A guy like Ryan Walter, you give him a 10-year contract, wouldn't make any difference.
Ernie Godden trying to drop it for Benning. Godden still after that puck. Benning to the other side. McGill will shoot it off the skate. Payma will get there first. At least just beating the Capitals to the puck most of the night. Godden picks it up. Centering. Here's Benning. Jensen came out, made a stop, and with Washington shorthanded, 20 seconds left in the Veach penalty, the Leafs try to get up the ice for another rush. Benning to Maloney. Saginaw, he shoots one from a bad angle. Benning at the other boards, tied up with Wes Jarvis. Maloney trotted free for the moment, and then Gustafson got it back to Walker, out to Jarvis. He tried to hit Gartner, offside.
Well, there's a guy, Mike Gartner, who had scored 48 goals last year, got off to a slow start this year.
With a score, Toronto 9 and Washington 4. This is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Panasonic Color TV with features of the future now. A 4-speaker system that's ready for stereo. Maximum channel capability without a separate cable converter. A control panel that detaches to become a full-function infrared remote control. Panasonic Color TV with features of the future now to make Reggie Jackson look and sound even better. Right, Reggie?
That's Panasonic for you.
Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
Teams at even strength with the expiration of Darren Veach's penalty. Godden out there with Saginaw and Maloney. Randy Holt tried to get away from Godden's check, did. Gave it to Gould. His pass too far for Tukey. There's a race for it. And that's icing against Washington.
Well, in Vancouver, where the Edmonton Oilers are playing, we have another goal as the Canucks put on some pressure, and their good goal scorer Gradin on a setup from Schmiel. So that score now is 4-1 for the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, wow, they're 3-2.
Okay, 3-2.
Thomas Gradin bringing the Vancouver Canucks within 1. Gibson from the point, got there. Jensen made the stop. The rebound still lying there, and the Capitals, Tukey for Gould. He may be in alone. Gould shot, stopped by Tremblay.
Now, Gary, I had mentioned before about Mike Gartner. You know what, a lot of people didn't realize that he was playing this year with a badly sprained wrist, couldn't shoot the puck, and you know, a lot of fans, when they watch a guy struggling, they don't realize those things.
Well, those are things that coaches don't tell the media either, Dorney, because you don't want the opposition to take advantage of that. Mike is just now recuperating from pulled tendon, sprained wrist, and it's starting to pay off. At least in the last few games it has.
Hanno for the Leafs, shooting it into the Washington zone. It's all the way around for Duchesne. He just shot it down the ice. It appears the Capitals would love this one to be over, and though the Leafs would probably like to have 10, I guess they're thinking ahead to a tough game in Boston tomorrow night.
Well, we've certainly seen a lot of those double-figure scores, and the Edmonton Oilers doing most of the damage. I think they've figured in 3 of them now, where they've scored 10 or more goals. But that's the style. How about the fans? They seem to enjoy that type of action.
Dorney, in Maple Leaf Gardens, do you get hamburgers for get 10 goals? In Peterborough, whenever you scored 10 goals, you used to get free hamburgers at a local restaurant.
Here you get a book on how to check.
LaBerge for Washington. After all that work, couldn't get out. Now the Capitals bring it into the neutral zone. Faberge has it again. That pass is too weak. It is intercepted, and almost a chance for Anderson or Vive. Another offside at the Maple Leaf line. The Edmonton Oilers, if they continue to score at the rate they're scoring this season, they're going to smash, absolutely shatter the NHL record, which is 399 goals by the Boston Bruins of 1970-71. At this rate, the Oilers are on a pace to score over 460 goals.
I got to look at Derlego. Mike Nicoluk said he's his best center iceman now. One of his strengths is he can make that pass both to the right side and the left using the backhand. Setting up plays very effectively tonight. Showed the way with 3 goals.
His line mate Rick Vive has 2. And Anderson rates a mention for the great play he made to set up the hat-trick goal by Derlego. Capitals, Jarvis shooting it around. Trombley leaves it for McGill. Play just totally ragged now. McGill lost it. Jarvis for Robertson. Benning turned him around. Vive came up with the puck and then hauled down a Washington player. Faberge for Carpenter back of the net. Carpenter watches Vive go after it, and Vive handed it right to Robertson. Robertson was hit by Vive. The puck in the corner for Derlego. He slid it to Rick Vive, who smashes it to center ice. Now it's Faberge over the Leaf line. A good move around McGill, and another good move, and then he couldn't get the shot away because McGill was able to get back into the play and knock him down.
Well, that's what happens when you make that one turn too many there. He was beat on the play. McGill was beat by Faberge, and then he made another circle, and McGill was able to come and atone for his mistake.
Walter and Valentine over the Leaf line. Valentine looking for a 5th point. Fell down, knocked down, hooked on the play, and the Leafs will be penalized. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
For years, these Atlantic waters have provided the basis for Newfoundland's economy. Today, the prospect of oil holds the promise of future growth for the people. Here, on the site of the original Hotel Newfoundland, in the fall of 1982, CN Hotels will be opening this new modern convention hotel. This project allows CN to work with local business and labor, providing vital jobs now and for the future. CN, in business for Canada.
There's the penalty call. Barry Melrose will serve 2 minutes for hooking with 9:28 remaining in the game.
And Gary, you had mentioned that Valentine, not one of your speedier players, but he certainly knows what to do in the offensive zone. Very heads-up player, doesn't give that puck away.
Amazing sitting at the draft table this June in Montreal and coming to the 10th round and finding out that a player that had scored as many points as he had in the Quebec League was still available. Skating or not, he certainly shows that he has got that sense for the net.
Capitals on the power play. Walter left it for Murray. This is Marouk. Gartner's shot is wide. Marouk off the backboards. Made Trombley make a stop, and Payma shoots it away. Chris Valentine's other problem, I guess, was that he was 20 years old in the draft, and a lot of teams just kind of ignored the 20-year-olds. Said if they haven't been drafted by then, they're not good enough.
Well, another good defensive play by the Leafs at the blue line. Again, they've done a lot of that. Being able to break up those plays by challenging, not giving up that blue line.
Ryan Walter has the puck. Marouk is in front. Marouk knocked right into the net by Gibson. Valentine was beaten to the puck by Luce. Here's a chance for Payma. Jensen came out. And Gartner got it over to Walter. He watched it go past him. Marouk races for it with Boydenstruck. Marouk leaving for Valentine. Stops. Couldn't get the good shot. Payma then knocked him down after Trombley had made the stop. They play on as that puck is in full view of referee Bob Myers. And Luce shoots it away with 40 seconds left in the Melrose penalty. Carpenter for Gustafson, a neat move around McGill. McGill back in the play and shot it down the ice. Capitals entered this game only 3 points out of a playoff spot in the Patrick Division, the fourth place held by the New York Rangers. And with the Washington loss tonight, Rangers playing in Colorado tonight and against Hartford tomorrow, that gap could open up again. Veach took a shot and Trombley made the stop. McGill sent the rebound down the ice. Aaron Veach with it. Giving it off to Thaberge. This is Tukey offside at the Leaf line with 7:09 remaining. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Armbruster, you ran up the highest long-distance phone bill in the organization.
But, sir, I was just...
Good work, Armbruster. By making more long-distance telephone calls, you set a company sales record. Your traveling expenses are way down.
Yes, sir.
Did you people get the message?
If your company's long-distance calling is increasing, could be your profits are, too. Business long distance, today's way to operate.
Well, the Leaf fans still making some noise, trying to see the home side get a 10th goal tonight. Toronto 9 and Washington 4. They play on from the scramble at the boards. Bobby Gould for the Capitals shooting it in. Probably had to shoot it away from Gould. Benning with a chance to get it out for the Leafs. Did knock it to center ice.
Dave Nicolak was also saying this morning that, you know, teams that come into Maple Leaf Gardens, we never punish them. You know, and a good example of that was in the first period where the Leafs certainly were very aggressive, and perhaps that took its toll because it's been all Leafs.
Ernie Godden shot it in. Jensen leaving it for Holt. Holt just shot it out to center ice. Melrose fired it back offside. As Saginaw touches that puck, they will blow the whistle. And we'll tell you the score is Toronto 9, Washington 4. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
This is the General Electric Pot Scrubber 2. The Drakes own one. Their neighbors don't.
Lasagna, darlings. Simply marvelous.
It has the unique multi-orbit spray arm that puts the water where you need it most.
Mine couldn't get it clean.
And a very clean conscience about saving you energy.
Arriba! The chili, it was hot off the pot. It is dirty.
The General Electric Pot Scrubber 2. GE, we bring good things to life.
Well, the youngsters enjoying this one as the Leafs have rattled in 9 goals against the Capitals. Greg Thaberge back at the Washington net. Leafs have the Derlego line out there looking to add further damage. Marouk lost the puck. Derlego leaving it. Anderson trying to play it with his skate, and Veach shot it in for Washington. Melrose handed it to Valentine. Valentine at the top of the net. Here's Walter back of the net. Valentine is in front. He is watched by Derlego. Walter again. So Baruch has shot one as a penalty will be called against the Leafs. We have another goal in Vancouver.
Tremendous young goaltender. Doesn't seem to be bothered by all the excitement and the pressure. Elderbrink to Boldurev. Clean shooting at the side of the net. They start and they score. Darcy Rhoda.
Well, you see a happy Darcy Rhoda as the Vancouver Canucks really put on the pressure. Grant Fuhr is down, and Rhoda and Smil keep battling away there, and it ends up in a 3-3 tie. So for Vancouver, kind of a psychological point because they kept the Oilers from scoring 8 or 9 goals.
We had showed you earlier highlights from Montreal, and we should tell you that the Calgary Flames have defeated the Canadiens 7-4. Derlego off the hooking call with 5:26 remaining. Capitals will have Maruk on the ice for this power play. He'll take the face-off against Luce. Walter got it back to the point. The Berge tried to get it to Valentine. Martin shot it, but not out. Here's Veach. Just wide. The Berge try to keep it in. Valentine for Walter. Went through his skates. Darren Veach. Maruk had it slide off his stick. He got it back. And then the Leafs had a chance to get it out. Could not. Washington continued to play with the puck. The Berge was shot right in front for Walter. He couldn't control it, and loose. Gives it to Martin. Leafs do have a shorthanded goal, the very first one of this game by Rick Vive. Since then we've had 12 others. Maruk walking right in front. Walter left it there for Valentine. At the point, the Berge took a shot blocked by Luce. We have a race, three-way race, because Jensen is into it, and he is knocked down by Don Luce. Valentine whacked it loose for knocking into Jensen, and now Pema grabs Walter. Not a thing wrong with what Don Luce did.
No, he didn't really throw a hard check into Jensen, but remember that once he leaves that crease area, you can interfere with him, take him out of play. The best thing to do is just knock him off the puck. Whoop, we got a heavyweight battle going here.
Gibson is into it with Valentine. It was Valentine who'd slashed at Don Luce. We welcome the viewers who've just joined us across the country in an effort to offer additional quote-unquote action. We present the Capitals and the Leafs from Maple Leaf Gardens. We'll stay with the game as long as our network commitments permit. It is Toronto 9 and Washington 4 in the hockey department. And the Maple Leafs appear to have an edge with this stuff too. We've had 128 penalty minutes until now, and what you're watching is the result of a check that Don Luce put on Washington goaltender Al Jensen. Perfectly legal from these eyes. The Capitals reacted or overreacted to it. There's the check.
And again, Dave, Don Luce is not trying to injure Jensen. He's more or less just pushing him away from the puck. And again, players react when you go after their goaltender.
Well, Dorney, Jensen hesitated here. He was coming out after the puck, and then all of a sudden decided that he just might hang on for a bit.
Well, it doesn't look like Don Luce could have stopped. He was going at a pretty good burst of speed. And then, of course, you saw the slash against Don Luce as he was leaving the zone area. And that's when the gloves and the sticks hit the ice, and we had some fisticuffs.
We're still not finished with this. We should tell you, for the viewers who've just joined us, that the other voices you have heard belong to Gary Dornhofer, known tonight as Dorney, and to former Washington coach Gary Green. And I'm Dave Hodge at Maple Leaf Gardens, as the Leafs and the Capitals try to get this one finished. Valentine had slashed loose, and then he got into it with Gibson. Now McGill and Maruk, who collided earlier in the game, are talking at long range. Sticks, gloves all over the place, which means a lot of penalty minutes. As far as the scoring is concerned, Billy Derlego has 3 for the Leafs tonight, 3 of the 9, and his line mate Rick Vive has 2 others. Sittler, Robert, Ernie Godden with his first NHL goal, the rookie with the Windsor Juniors last year, and Dan Maloney. That completes the Leaf scoring. Rookie Chris Valentine, who was just in the fight, is at 2 goals and 2 assists for Washington. Ryan Walter, Dennis Maruk with his 22nd of the season. The others for the Caps, who come in here losers of 1 of their last 10 games. But it's going to be 2-11 after tonight with 4:12 remaining.
Now, what are the thoughts that are going through Brian's head right at this moment, Gary?
Well, when you're down by 5 goals and there's only 4 minutes to go in the game, you don't really like to see these type of outbreaks. With certainly Chris Valentine there, He's a new young hockey player that wants to make the hockey club, and intimidation or standing up for your goaltender, there's kind of a rule of thumb, I guess, that all teams have, and that is whenever your goaltender's out of your net, whether it's legal or not, and somebody hits you, well, then you're supposed to protect your goaltender. Whether that's done through a slash or whatever isn't necessary, but I don't really think in that situation that Don Luce even meant to hit him. It was just a slight collision. Al kind of got knocked over there.
I'll tell you, he'd had a tough time avoiding the goaltender. Luce was going for the puck, and the goalie was in his path right down the boards. What else do you do?
That's right. Well, it has not been a good night for Jansen and the Washington Capitals. The Leafs, right from the opening face-off, really applied the shoulder. They took the Washington body at every opportunity, had a lot of good hits, and that was due to a long-length meeting today by Mike Nikolak and his team. He was not satisfied with the way they were playing, and their position in the standings would certainly tell the reason why. But it was a good effort by the Leafs. They have played a strong game. More players leave the ice. Walter.
We'll have plenty of ejections after this one, with only 4:12 left. The misconduct's all over the place. Maruk, Walter, the heart of the Washington team is gone.
Chris Valentine.
Let's listen to the
2
penalties.
minutes for slashing, 5 minutes for fighting, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 21, Dennis Maruk, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 11, Mike Gartner, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 20, Greg Thaberge, a 10-minute misconduct. And number 9, Ryan Walter, a 10-minute misconduct. For Toronto, number 23, John Gibson, 5 minutes for fighting, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 20, Don Luce, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 11, Fred Boimstruck, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 99, Wilf Paymont, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 4, Bob McGill, a double minor for leaving the bench and a game misconduct. The time, 15:48.
And if you order right away, you can get a 10-minute misconduct absolutely free of charge.
Well, Dave, the stats indicate that the penalty minutes, Toronto is 7th in the league, Washington 10th, so they will certainly be elevated in that category.
Well, the players on the bench will be glad to know there's only 4:12 left, because if this had happened earlier in the game, there'd be a lot of hockey to be played by very few people. Out of all of this, the Leafs are going to be a man short for a while. 3 Leaf skaters against 4 for the Capitals. 15:48. Now we welcome more viewers across the country, those who have watched the Edmonton-Vancouver game. And we'll bring you as much of this game as time permits from Maple Leaf Gardens, the Leafs 9 and Washington 4. Dave Hodge with Gary Dornhofer and former Washington coach Gary Green in the broadcast booth tonight. And here we go again. We've had a pile of penalty minutes, something around the 200 mark, and we're getting more.
You know, when you're Mike Nikolak in these situations, when you've got a game tomorrow night, the Caps don't have a game tomorrow night, and it's really important right now. I know Mike's feelings that you don't want your players involved in these Donnybrooks when you're way out in front by a lead. That only drains you even more so, and they got a very important game in Boston tomorrow night.
Well, there's an indication. Torrey Roberts, his last year a junior, he picked up 274 minutes in penalty besides 111 points. So you know that he means business out there. And the Leafs are leaving on a chartered flight right after this game, whenever that will be.
We've had 244 penalty minutes, and we're going to get at least 10 more here.
Well, you saw the good hit by Barry Melrose, and the Leafs have been doing that the whole evening. And that's the start of another fight, one of many we have seen tonight.
16:26. For Washington, Torrey Robertson, 5 minutes fighting. For Toronto, Barry Melrose, 5 minutes
have 4
fighting.
players, 4 skaters on the ice, plus a goalie. We got a spare goalie on the bench and only 5 others over there, so they can. Not going to be hard to change people now in the next 3:34, and the Leafs, of course, are in the actual same position. New coach for the Capitals, Brian Murray, who's lost only twice. This will make 3. And there's Bunny Larocque. The guys in the white sweaters can afford to smile with a 9-4 lead. Bill Derlego has 3 of them for the Leafs, and Rick Vive has 2. Our Vancouver viewers will be interested in that. And listen to these people. They haven't had much opportunity to cheer this season, and they want a 10th goal. There's no mistaking that.
Well, that's the only thing left in this game now is will the Leafs score 10?
Well, that's again, I don't know. Maybe there is a prize tonight for scoring 10 goals. But, you know, this is an excellent opportunity, too, I think, as a coach. When you've got a big lead, you want to see what your team can do defensively. And oftentimes I've, in the past, liked to just try to send one man in, see how well your wingers can pick up their wingers and have your defense stand up and see how well you can protect it.
Well, Gary, you had mentioned that you're really impressed with the Leafs, the youngsters standing up at that blue line, because the tendency for a youngster is to back in, you know, at every opportunity. But the Leafs have done this very effectively.
Showing a lot of confidence.
Bobby Gould trying to get to the puck for the Capitals. Terry Murray kept it in, and the Leafs shoot it out. Derlego has it in his skate. He gave it to Vive. 2-on-1 with Bob Mano. Looking for number 10, and almost. Al Jensen, the rookie goaltender, got a piece of it, and it trickled wide of the net. Derlego lost his stick, making that check. Bobby Carpenter gives it to Bobby Gould. Trombley, one stop. Carpenter couldn't get much on the rebound shot, and Vive goes down the right side against Holt, who really cocks him one. Randy Holt took a run with a stick at Rick Vive, and I'll tell you what, if you're going to stand up for a goaltender, as the Capitals did, the Leafs ought to stand up for Rick Vive in that opportunity.
Well, that's commonly known in football circles as the clothesline tackle, but my goodness. I'd hate to be on the receiving end for a shot like that.
Number 4, Randy Holt. 5 minutes for high
Good
sticking.
call. A good call. A 5-minute major penalty to Randy Holt.
Randy Holt, 5 minutes for high sticking. Time 17:37.
Randy getting an escort to the Capitals dressing room, and one more player leaves the playing surface.
Well, now there's only 4 left on the bench. Pretty soon, Brian Murray will have to suit up and join the group.
Well, the Capitals need somebody in the penalty box to serve that major. They have 2 in there, 4 skaters at the bench, and 3 on the ice. Still 2:23 remaining in the game. The Leafs with the man advantage now and a chance to get their 10th goal.
All right, I predict we will see 10 goals tonight.
That's your prediction?
Why not, eh?
The fans yelling as loud as they have all season. Benning. Shot. Duchesne, the rookie for Washington, gets it to Darren Veach. This shot goes wide, and Tremblay keeps it in play for Anderson. Good move around one player, around 2. Anderson couldn't center it. The Capitals get it to center ice. 1:45 remaining. Offside at the Washington blue line.
Well, a lot of people have indicated that Benning should have been sent back to junior hockey, but he has remained here in Toronto and oftentimes victimized, and a lot of times the Leaf forwards are really not coming back to help him out, but he's here for the duration. He's played a strong game tonight.
He picked up in the first period a couple of assists and is probably playing with as much confidence tonight as he's had all season. You can say that about many of the Leafs.
But after the game against Hartford, anything was possible. They really had a stinker, what is commonly known as a tray, but tonight they've really come alive.
René Robert, who really started the Leafs on their way tonight. They had a 3-0 lead, then were tied at 3, and then Robert made a great pass to Sittler to set up the go-ahead goal. He scored the 5th one himself. René Robert has a goal and 3 assists tonight. There's the brother of the Washington coach. And of course, the Leaf coach has a rather famous brother too, former Argonaut Danny Nicoluk, who is a faithful watcher of Leaf games and appears to suffer more than his brother when the Leafs lose. The other half of the Washington brother act, Coach Brian Murray celebrating his 39th birthday tonight. Leaf fans, those who have remained, still anxious for goal number 10. Just over a minute to play as Sittler brings it over the line, stops. He'll look for someone to give it to at the point for Benning. Benning's shot goes wide. Mano did keep it in. Sittler dropping for Benning. Around back of the net, the Capitals with a chance to get it out, could not. Benning trying to pass the puck to Saginaw. Here's Mano's shot, and Jensen has it underneath his pads with 41 seconds left.
Oh, you have to admire Jensen. He's hanging in there, working right to the very end.
I just wonder how much weight he's lost tonight. Always players, and this is a surprising thing, that often lose 5, 7, 8 pounds tonight. I don't know, maybe Al Jensen might have set a new National Hockey League record tonight for amount of sweat lost in a game.
Yeah, he's really had a busy night, and those pads get heavier and heavier, especially when you go to the ice trying to get up again.
How's your prediction there, Darnie?
We're running out of time. I've been wrong before.
Mano kept it in. Here is Derlego. He'll shoot it near the net. The puck is lying there for Martin. It's still loose back of the net. Gustafsson trying to get it out for Washington. He has it. Passes it to the other side with only 18 seconds remaining. And the Caps get it out over their line. And they're just going to try to avert the 10-goal total for the Leafs by holding on to the puck, and that's the way the game is going to end. The Leafs will win it in a breeze. Penalty-laden affair as the Leafs win only their second game in the last 9 starts. They hand the Washington Capitals their second loss in the last 11. And Vince Tremblay is congratulated by Bunny Larocque and others. The Maple Leafs defeat Washington 9-4 in just a moment. Our Molson Cup 3-star selection.
Hi, Sam. How's the plumbing business?
Oh, my customers' pipes are fine, Alice, but my nose is clogged. I want a good cold medicine.
Instant or regular?
Instant cold medicine?
Sure, Tristan Mist. What would you call a decongestant and antihistamine that goes to work in less than a minute?
Instant cold medicine.
Right, when you want to unclog your nose fast. Psst. Tristan Mist.
Instant cold medicine. I'll try it.
Tristan Mist, instant cold medicine.
All right. So I didn't take proper care of her. I never found me a service station I could be sure of. You know what I mean? It's tough. Frankly, I just want to blow the old heap away.
Shell recommends less drastic measures. The Shell Dealer Book. Helpful tips on how to find a good service station dealer. How to get it together. With a little help from your friends at Shell. Shell helps.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are tonight's Molson Cup 3-star selections. The first star, Bill Derlego. The second star, Rick Vaive. And the third star, Chris Valentine.
The Toronto Maple Leafs got a lecture from their coach, Mike Nicoluk, after a dismal performance against Hartford, and it paid off in a 9-4 victory here tonight. Hockey Night in Canada returns in just a moment. So it was 9-4, Toronto over Washington at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight. Calgary down Montreal 7-4. Edmonton, Gretzky getting 1 point. tied Vancouver 3-3. A strong comeback by the Vancouver Canucks against the Oilers tonight. Boston defeated Quebec and moved into a first-place tie with Quebec in the Adams division. 5-3 the score there, Bruins. Philadelphia dumped Detroit 5-2 tonight. And it's the Islanders leading Minnesota 6-2. They're in the second period now. Goring has a pair of goals in that game. St. Louis leading Pittsburgh 2-1 in the second. Colorado leading New York Rangers 1-0. And LA and Chicago are tied at 1 in the first period. Rick Martin has a goal there. Next week it'll be Montreal at Toronto. A long-awaited rematch of those two arch rivals. Islanders at Calgary. That's next Saturday night. So long from our control center in Toronto.